further ado, we're going to hand over to Tuffers, who is alongside Blowers.
My dear old thing, Alison, we've just listened to the most wonderful opening partnership, haven't we? Laura Wright and Alison Mitchell. I mean, I've got not only Tuffers alongside me, but also Jim Carter, and both were absolutely basking, first of all in Alison's brilliant introduction, and then in Laura's fabulous singing. Gentlemen, wasn't it terrific?
It was indeed, and she's on my side as well, so we're happy. so the singing in the dressing room after we've won this amazing victory is going to be fantastic.
And Carson, what did you think, old thing?
Marvellous, yeah. Welcome to Yorkshire. The sun always shines on the broad acres, and we're set for a great day out.
Well, isn't it wonderful? And it's the fact of Test Match Special being 60 is something extraordinary. When you think it began really commentary after the war in 46. In 57, it became ball by ball for the first time, which meant that it was then called Test Match Special. And here we still are, and it's absolutely wonderful to think that this is the 60th anniversary of all that's happened over the years. Now, we've got the opening batsman going in. We've got Ed Smith there, and we've got Graeme Swann, rather, going in, and with Dom Joly. That's right. Graeme Swann and Dom Joly. You practically can't tell them apart, can you?
No.
And
except that Dom Joly looks like he's got a chest pad on, but he hasn't. I checked him before he went out. He's got every bit of padding on he could grab his hands on. But I saw him in the nets earlier, Blowers, and he looks in good form. He looks a good player. We've got some good players here today, you know.
Dominic, he's had a little bit of a tipple to get him in good form. I'm surprised he went for beer rather than champagne. He looks a champagne guy to me, but there we are. Anyway, he's looking a bit like the heavy roller at the top end.
Henry, I hate to draw your attention, but is that Yohan Blake starting his run-up from behind the sight screen?
I think he may be.
Does somebody disappear from... Oh, my God, and he can run 100 yards in 9.96 seconds.
Well, he's always been finishing second to Usain Bolt, so he hasn't got that problem anymore.
No, I might mention that to him, actually, when he's batting. What's it like to be second all the time?
Usain, well, I know. And I'm to see Usain's backside endlessly disappearing away from him.
Second fastest man in the world.
Do you remember? I remember another West Indian, Wes Hall, at Sabina Park in Kingston. In the old ground, he almost used to push himself off the side screen. But let's watch now as...
here he comes.
Here he is, this tremendous sprint. And Swanee absolutely quaking in his boots. It's Yohan Blake. Oh, a stutter there. Oh, and Swanee's into the air, and he's out! He's gone! He's gone! But he's come first there, all right. And Swanee just swatted it to mid-off. Here you are, catch it. Extraordinary start. And Tuffers, what about that now?
Oh, Swanee, you're my main man. I paid 7 rhubarbs for you. Short of a length, just outside off stump. That Graeme shot usually wonderful off the back foot. It was quite quick. And he's just sort of, as you say, swatted it to Ed Smith, who gobbled it up at mid-off. What a bad start from my side.
Well, you'll have to go into the dressing room and have a bit of a lecture after that. But, Jim, that was an extraordinary start. You must have enjoyed that.
I think that's the intimidation of a 70-yard run-up, isn't it, there? And Phil, you were talking about this strong top 5 you've got.
Well, I was, and it looked strong on paper, but as we know, cricket's played on grass, which is a terrible shame. Graeme, he's got in a good position there, but just couldn't get it over Ed's head at mid-off, and he's got some stick going out there, Graeme. He won't be happy with that.
I think Jonathan Agnew's just burst into tears. The team manager for the Blues.
Well, we've got Charlie Dagnall now. He's saying that in the auction, Charlie Dagnall went for 11 rhubarbs.
Well, I put a lot of rhubarbs on Daggers. Bats and bowl, of course. He's our all-rounder. He's been batting very well. He said he got 80 over the weekend as well. So hopefully he's going to come strong up. I mean, we're looking. What's par on this Blowers? Do you think about 150? I mean, if we get anything over 150, we'll be in good shape.
Yeah, I would think. Yes, 140, 150 will win this. Yes. And it's going to be Yohan Blake again from behind the side screen. And Darrow Daggers out there. Okay. And in a moment we'll tell you all about the rhubarbs, but there was a bit of auctioning went on to liken this contest to the IPL.
I'm going to try and time this run-up.
And here comes Yohan Blake. My goodness me. He's going to stop for a drink soon, and he's about halfway. He's up to the wicket now. He's there. Oh, my goodness me. He got there, he lost his footing, he's come down, followed through to the I thought he was going to do an Elf Gover. Do you remember Elf Gover did that at indoor once in a match in India? He started in and accelerated past both wickets into the pavilion. He felt this funny thing in his tummy. Shut the door in the loo, got there, and a moment or two later there was Great knocking on the door saying, "Give us back our ball," because he had the ball in his pocket still.
I think Daggers is going for wearing him out tactic.
Oh, he's off his short run now, Johan Blake. Oh, and lifting that into his body. Dagger's trying to turn it round the corner. Hit on the body. And it's fielded there by the keeper.
For a social game of cricket, that was quite nippy, wasn't it?
It was, and it was just short of a length, and it might have nipped back with a new ball, and it's rattled into Daggers'... Oh, no, what's he saying there?
He's sending for his helmet.
Yeah. He's just pinned him. He's just pinned him. He's got him in the ribs.
And he's gone back off the short run too, so here we are. And that's another... Oh, he's hit that away. Well, he's off the mark. Deep square leg fielding, and they come back just for the single. So it is 1 for 1.
Off and running, nice shot by Daggers, just short of a length. And Brian Lara perhaps sort of sprung to mind there. That little sort of clip off the hip.
You've got a fertile imagination, Tufnell, I think.
So you paid 11 rhubarbs for him?
Well, listen, he's going to come good. He's going to come.
So
good
is that 1 rhubarb for every county he played for?
Well, he had a few, didn't he? Yes. He got a lot of expenses, I think, with Daggers when he played.
And now 3 slips are in. And here is Dom Joly facing his first ball. Oh, he had swings that and gone away for buys, I think, there. And that went through the gloves of Greg James. And a bye is being signalled by the titch out there who's standing, James Taylor, standing at the university end. So 2 for 1 now.
Didn't bounce much, that one, just squatted down a bit.
Uneven bounce, I know. Johan Blake again. Oh my goodness, they nearly pinned him in. He's pushed away for a single, get back, it will run out. No. Daggers played that quietly to mid-wicket, thought about a single, set off for it, had to race back, and he got back all right.
Bit of a nervous start for my team. They just need to see off this first over from, obviously the boys were buzzing in the dressing room. There's a lot of nervous energy out there. Just need to relax into this innings.
Look at Wasp running up our windscreen. And Jet Blake again. Oh, it's in the air! It's in the air! Fended away. That was a bouncer. And Daggers didn't like it. He lobbed it up on the leg side. Pitched just short of mid-wicket. But goodness me, what a hostile first over. And that is the end of it. And a wicket of Swanee first ball. Goodness me, I wouldn't want to face that over.
Well, I tell you something, but Johan Blake can play a little bit. Obviously Jamaican and a fantastic runner, but he's come in there and bowled a beautiful first over. Quick, back of the length, right into the rib cage. Got rid of my gun batsman in Graeme Swann and was causing all sorts of trouble to Daggers. So he looks a useful player.
So 2 for 1 off 1 over. So at this rate, Phil, you've been put a total of 40 on the board. Good luck.
Listen, we've got lots of time. Just settle in.
Yep.
Settle.
See you just a little bit.
Look at this lovely ground. We got at the university, and there's some wonderful trees there, a sort of half moon of trees, the big ones in the middle, the oaks and things, then they slope away. Trees all the way around the ground. It is the most lovely rural setting, this. And when you think we're not more than about half a dozen miles from the centre of Leeds, it is amazing.
This is Guha.
Guha, it is indeed. And she's going to bowl to Dom Joly. And my goodness, what a contest this promises to be. Isha, she may be small in height, but my goodness, she's a mighty fine bowler. And, of course, a World Cup winner for England. And I say that was a respectable stroke.
Yes, nicely back into line, just popped it back to mid-off.
Oh, look, we got a pigeon, the first pigeon. No, seagull. I've been confused a pigeon and a seagull for years. Oh, I say it's down the leg side, but no, it's fielded at, well, almost long stop, isn't it? Short, fine leg, to give it its polite name.
We could get a bit of a move on here. Now we've got plenty of time, but 2 for 1 off 1.5 overs. We need to field that on ball.
Guha again, just a couple of strides in, a bit short, quicker, pushed it through, and Dom goes on to the back foot. Dom Joly plays that nicely into the covers, good-looking stroke. And things well ordered at the moment. Isha goes back. She comes in a slightly longer run this time. She walks actually about 6 paces. Oh, it's a full toss, and that is swung away.
Oh, it's 6.
That's gone all the way into the crowd for 6. And Don Joly, there he is, hands aloft. You think he'd won the match. Oh, and all the gold medal or whatever. It's wonderful to see the crowd under that temporary stand at mid-wicket really enjoying themselves. And, well, all this is going on. I can see in a rather smart pink coat there. Test match specials 34-year producer Peter Baxter has come to join us. That's a short one there from Isha Guha. Onto the back foot goes Don Joly. Plays another good-looking force into the covers, gets a single. Extra feeling rather deep. I say, this is beginning. Anyone think this is a cricket match?
Well, one might break out shortly.
And it's now Daggers. Daggers looks the part, doesn't he? Very much. He's the pro down there. Tall, angular, thin. His white trousers fit him like a glove. And he's looking just a little anxious. I can't think what he's doing. He's loosening up.
He's strained a pectoral doing his exercises.
And there's another, it's a short one there into his ribs, and they go for a quick swing to mid-wicket, and they get it. And actually, these two run very quickly, don't they? Oh, an aeroplane. Look, an aeroplane. How lovely. A rather slow medium aeroplane coming into land at Leeds Airport. It's the end of the second over. 9 for 1 is the score, Tuffers. And 10 for 1. They were a bit late, the scoreboard.
Yeah, not a bad start. Not a bad start. But it's nice to have seen Graeme still out there. But he's departed in that first over. I think Charles Dagnall's been hit in the ribs by Yohan Blake. And Don Joly's scored a 6. So it's been action-packed for 2 overs.
And we've got all sorts of people here today. It's wonderful. We've got a 1,500 crowd have come in, and it was a lottery, so to speak. People wrote in last week. 30,000 people wrote in. Only 1,500 were lucky, because it's a small ground. But it is wonderful that TMS was as popular as that.
I think that's Simon Mann just fielding down at fine leg.
God, he's scratching his nose. I hope he's not picking it. There he is, old Grumpy. And Yohan Blake again, that's in the air, but Dagger's scything that away for 4 runs behind square.
Yeah, short of a length outside off stump, just lost his line there. Dagger's made himself a bit of room, and as you said, scythed it through the offside. Fantastic. We get him moving now, Team Tufnell.
Team Tufnell's 14 for 1 they are. And Dagger's looking around the field, rehearsing something that an executioner might be proud of. That wasp has come back onto our windscreen. We've got windows in front of us, and a rather virile wasp is climbing up there behind the curtain at the top. And it's Yohan Blake coming in again from the far end. Well, again, and it's another one. He slashes that one, and it goes off the edge. A fine. Past is the balding figure at third man, who looks as though he's wearing a swimming hat, is Andy Parsons, I detect. And score goes on to 18 for 1. Dagger's successive falls.
Yeah, another good delivery there, just outside the off stump. Dagger's got a big, thick edge, and that's gone whistling over Vaughan. That's slip.
Blake again from the university end, a slower one, and he tried to turn it round the corner, and it beats the keeper, Greg James, and it's gone away to the boundary for 4 byes. And I think the likeness between Greg James and Alan Knott.
Greg James is on the telephone. He's got a mobile phone to his ear. What is going on here? Is this how they conduct themselves at Radio 1? Look, what's going on? James Taylor was filming Yohan Blake on his phone as he ran in. Blowers, get out there.
Blake again this time. Daggers hits it hard into the ground. It's fielded at cover, and there is no run. The wicket-keeper on the telephone when the ball's bowled down the leg side. Dear, oh dear, oh dear. And my goodness me, who have I been joined by? Alistair Cook, I was going to say the England captain, the former England captain. Alistair, how wonderful to see you. It's Yohan Blake again into Daggers. Daggers hits it, pulls it away. First bounce there, and it's fielded at deep square leg. And they go through just for the single.
Lydia Greenway there picking out that.
Very well identified. I say Carson chap. That was brilliant.
Here's a little-known fact about Carson. Carson was at Lydia Greenway's 30th birthday party. File that one away, Henry.
Filthy beast. Alistair, how very good to see you. How are you?
I'm very well, Blows, and now this is a treat.
Well,
sharing the microphone with you.
Well, we've talked about it over the years, on and off, haven't we?
We have, and now you're disappearing.
Well, I am, I know. Only from, well, I say only from TMS. I mean, sadly, I think the times come, don't you? I've been doing it for about 150 years.
They always say go at the top, don't they?
Well, I mean, that's nice of you to say so. Before people say, what the bloody hell are you doing here? I know. It's Blake again. He's into Sir One. Oh, and Tom Joly. I say he hit that hard, didn't he? But he went straight into the ground and trickled down to mid-off.
Charlotte Edwards.
That was an agricultural hoik, I would say, but no timing whatsoever. Kind of rolled to mid-off with nothing on it, which is surprising amount of weight behind Dom Joly's shot. You'd say...
What do you mean by that, Alistair, the amount of weight behind the shot?
He's definitely got a big bat, hasn't he? He's definitely got a big bat, so he's... You'd have thought with that just coming down, it will be flying to the boundary. Clearly not on that stage.
Did you go? Jim? Which birthday party of Charlotte's did you go to?
Charlotte was at this birthday party. Yes.
I think we need to know more about this.
It'll come out over the course of the afternoon, Henry.
And now it's Isha Guha again from the pavilion end, as Dan Norcross walks across in front of us carrying a bottle of water. Disappointing. And a lovely lady stops in front of us who's actually wearing it, so I can't see a thing, but that's all right. Isha Guha. And that is swatted away there by Daggers. It was a half stop to cover, but it's going all the way over the rope. And it's Lydia Greenway who picks it up. And the score now goes on. I say the lovely lady who was blocking our vision one way is now blocking our vision the other way. No, it's Mrs. Aggers who's blocking our vision. The lovely Mrs. Aggers looking an absolute picture in pink. And with Mr. Aggers, 27 for 1 the score. Isha Guha again, a short one, and that's swatted away over the top of cover for 4 more.
Fantastic. You could call that a back foot punch over the top, but really it was a drag down long up, smeared through cover, but 4 more all the same.
It was a bit of a smear, wasn't it? Not the sort of... How are you enjoying it, though? Now you're back in the ranks.
It's perfect, you know, making decisions, stand at first slip.
And score rather a lot of runs.
Well, nice last week.
Isha Guha again in bowls. Oh, I say, well played, Daggers, giving a coaching lesson, pushing that off the front foot into the covers, and there is no run there.
Possibly a single, one would say, but Don didn't seem to be backing up too far, and I don't think running's his game.
There's a slight uphill to this pitch, I think, that deterred him.
Jim, I think later you ought to be carrying out the drinks as the butler present, don't you?
Thank you, Henry.
Well, and another long hop, that's swatted away by Daggers, who's only getting 1 out to there to Andy Parsons at long on. Andy Parsons doing marvellously well. The sun glinting off his swimming hat, and he's a wonderful chap, isn't he? Good heavens. And the score now 32 for 1. 32, my old school number, my prep school.
Yes.
As far as bits of useless information go, you won't get much better than that today. And Isha Guha's going to bowl again, her 3rd over, and Dom is facing the whole full weight of him, or should I say the whole full hulk of him. Oh, my goodness me, there's a massive appeal there. And Greg James shouting his head off. I think he's finished on the telephone. He may merely have been trying to wake up the person he was talking to. But they ran a bye, and it's 33 for 1.
Got the replay now coming in. Oh, no. It's just paused. Just paused on the replay, so I can't tell you exactly what that was missing, but...
And Isha Guha again. Oh, and he's hit that many a mile. That's gone all the way for a straight 6. He flat batted a straight 6, Daggers. And that's gone down to the pavilion. 6 runs to him, so 39 for 1. And I say, what fun this is.
But after Swanee, I literally turned up as Swanee was getting caught cover for the probably 350th time in his career. It's been a good start, hasn't it?
It's brilliant. I mean, I'm going to listen to Charles Dagnall with renewed respect on TMS, because you don't know about these people, do you? But he's a monster. He's a beast.
Well, no, we've had, what, 4 overs now? 5 overs we've had, haven't we? 39 for 1, and let's go straight over and join Ebony, who's somewhere lurking around the ground. So over to you, Evers.
So it's been a bit good recovery for the blue team, but didn't start off to perfection. I'm joined here by Graeme Swann. Talk me through your first ball facing Yohan Blake. Bit of pace. How did it go?
Well, sometimes you just get a good one, and you can do nothing about it, and I think I'll stick with that.
When you say a good one, I mean, it landed halfway down the track. Could have been put away for 6, and you did what with it?
Well, I think everyone's committed to watch Charlie Dagnall bat, to be honest, so I'm just doing my bit for the team.
Talk to me a little bit about the build-up, because it's been great fun, hasn't it? And we've got, who's our team manager? We've got Boycott, not Boycott, we've got Agnew. Yeah, how have you found the build-up?
Well, to be honest, the team talk completely deflated me, to be honest. It was very negative. It was, we can't lose, and I blame Agnew completely, 100%.
Well, it looks like something's going on. Let's go back to blow as it's all happening.
Yes, we got a new bowler. Charlotte Edwards has taken over from Yohan Blake. And Dom Joly has driven violently at the first ball, dropped and slipped, I think.
Yeah, so we've got Greg James at slips at spinner with the pads on. The keeper without the pads on. I think he was on his phone, and he's put down a bit of a simple catch, really. But he still seems to be talking to that bloke who's trying to wake up.
Oh, my goodness.
Is he doing a radio programme at the same time, do you think? Is he being a disc jockey?
That's a good thought. And anyway, Charlotte Edwards again. And that Joly swings away. No, he wanted to go off for a leg by. A trickle down short fine leg, but a great strangulated yell of no from Daggers. Shows that he's in good voice still, and the score remains on 39 for 1. Daggers has got 26, and Dom Joly has got 7.
I didn't realise the porky fella behind the stumps actually Michael Vaughan.
And it's like poor Dom Joly's now going to be caught. He is. He's gone. He's tried to cut that, got underneath it, was caught at backward point. So the second wicket has fallen. Charlotte Edwards has struck in our first over. Goodness me, the excitement is tremendous. And the score now 39 for 2. And it was Simon Mann, in fact, who took the catch. And so good old Grumps has struck again. Well done him.
Yeah, an excellent catch there. Nice bit of flight from, well, not really flight, drag down. I'm trying to be nice. And the simple sign could have gone into the sun, I suppose, but Simon Mann unfortunately caught it. I'd love to have given him a little bit of stick if he had dropped it.
And we've got the new batsman in. It looks to me a bit like Harry Judd. It is indeed. And goodness me, cometh the hour, cometh the man. A photographer with a tall telephoto lens walks across in front of me. Left, right, left. It's lovely. The ground is full of people. And it's really an inspiring sight. Reds, yellows, greens. Goodness me, the colours. Wonderful. And Charlotte Edwards, the wicket in our first over. She's now rearranging her field. And Alistair, field placing, I think the captaincy has been quite good so far.
Well, it went straight to the man, so literally, as we spoke. So yeah, it's a great field, great change of. The captain always gets a lot of credit when he changes the ball and gets a wicket in the first over. So whoever the captain is out there,
Charlotte Edwards bowls again, and he goes back to that one, and Harry Judd plays that to mid-wicket, and they run. And the voice beside me, the Alistair beside me, is no less a person than Alistair Cook, and it's tremendous to have him with us. And here's Charlotte Edwards again, bowls, and Harry Judd comes forward. Charlotte herself nips across in front of Charlie Dagnall at the non-striker's end and fields.
Yeah, so I can remember playing cricket against Harry Judd at school.
Really?
Yeah, Uppingham School. He looks like he knows what he's doing here. And
Bedford boys together.
I think, no, it's Bedford against Uppingham. I think he definitely scored a lot of runs, actually. He looks yeah, he's good cricket.
Well, while you keep on talking, Alistair, you and Jim, 39-2 is the score, and I'm going to hand you over now to Dan Norcross.
So it's good to see Greg James has finished his phone call and gone back to wicket-keeping. And has he released Michael Vaughan to bowl now?
Yeah, I think, right, the porky, he's now turned from a porky wicket-keeper to a slightly porky off-spinner. I think he might be bowling off-spin today.
We've had an ex-England captain, Charlotte Edwards, from one end, now another ex-England captain at the other end, and an ex-England captain commentating. We've got the full trifecta.
So here is Vaughan bowling absolute filth, and he's going to get a wicket with it. Oh no, he's not! Oh, and Have you ever seen such diabolical cricket in your life?
Marcel Somerville there.
That is what we call despicable cricket all round, Alistair Cook. It was indeed Marcel Somerville, who's taken over the gloves from Greg James, who's taken over the gloves from Michael Vaughan. No, it's not. Who was it who's dropped that? No, it is Somerville.
Yeah.
It is Somerville at first slip. And they don't come much easier than that. That said, looked like a no ball for height to me, Alistair.
Yeah, I think I am so glad he hasn't caught that. I'd love to see Daggers just put Vaughan over the ropes a couple of times. It looks like he's going to toss it up nice and slowly, but yeah, I mean, he probably should have caught that.
It's the sort of wicket Steve Smith takes, isn't it? The Australian captain. Now here is Vaughan again. Bowls another ball of relative filth, which is pushed up to mid-off where Parsons does the fielding.
I'm not sure.
No run.
I'm not sure I can say that. He's got me out a couple of times, Steve Smith.
Vaughan in again, and that's driven, but with no timing by the 11 rhubarbed Dagnall to short mid-wicket.
Looks like he's just tweaked his back trying to hit that as hard as he possibly can. Come on, this one.
Well, his knee's gone, his elbow's gone. If his back goes, there'll be nothing left of him. Next delivery is driven high, firmly, straight, and into the crowd for 6. A wonderful shot from Charlie Dagnall. And that'll take the squad to 50. 51. Andrew.
45.
45. Sorry, 45 for 2. That's a superb shot from Daggers, wasn't it, Alistair?
That was a lovely strike. Is that it now?
He's retiring at 30, yes. Now, it doesn't mean this is the last we've seen of Daggers, because looking at the rest of the lineup, if they were to lose all their wickets, then Daggers can come back. Let us not forget. We've lost Jim Carter. We've gained World Cup winner Danny Hazel. Welcome.
Thank you very much.
What do you make of what you've seen so far? I mean, Vaughan's over has been an unusual mix of, I don't really know how to describe it, hideous nonsense.
Yeah, so far it's been pretty exciting. It's quite good to watch Isha open the ball again, and obviously Lottie's out there, got herself a wicket first over, so yeah, it's good.
Well, I've got to say, Charlotte's first over was superb, on the money straight away. We don't see her bowl so much anymore in KSL. In fact, I haven't seen her bat for more than one ball in this year's KSL. She was bowled first ball against Surrey Stars.
Yeah, she didn't even get a bat against us yesterday either. I think, the Vipers played really well, but, obviously she's still got it, and she's still got plenty of years in her yet.
As the last over of power play, don't forget how important could that prove to be. That's Vaughan in off 2 paces, bowls a sort of round-arm full delivery that's defended well off the front foot by Ebony Rainford-Brent. Now, Ebony, great to see Ebony back. She's put in a lot of practice for this. She had a half-hour massage before the game. As Vaughan is into her again. She gets back to her crease, pulls out to no one. So it's taken by the keeper. End of the over, 45 for 2. 6 overs have gone. Ebony is yet to score. Harry Judd yet to score. Harry Judd, a few facts on Harry Judd. You mentioned, Alistair, you played against him at Uppingham. He won strictly, of course, in 2011. He got 40 in the quick step and the Argentine tango. But he contrived to lose in the special underwater strictly to Chelsea Healy, which was apparently done using scuba diving gear. You ever done underwater swimming, either of you? Underwater dancing?
No.
No? Doesn't appeal? Now, who's coming on here? Are we going to stay with Charlotte? We are staying with Charlotte Edwards. Back into his crease goes Judd. Works his out to the onside. Going to pick up a single. Think about a second. It isn't there. I think we're going to see good running between the wickets between these two.
Yeah, I think, now the big hitter's gone at the top. I think we'll see a couple of overs of knocking it around. Harry looks quick between the wickets. And, it's... James Taylor's umpiring.
Oh, yes. He was obscured slightly by the...
What, the stumps?
Yes, the stumps, yes. Well, that's been tossed up high, gone out to deep mid-wicket, and it's 6. A fabulous shot by... Is that Ebony?
It was Ebony.
It was Ebony. Ebony, what a shot that was. That does bring up the 50, I'm delighted to say. As total moves to 52. I've never seen Andrew Sampson have to actually operate the scoreboard as well as do the scoring. Next ball, back into a crease goes Rainford-Brent. Pushes out to the offside. There's no run. Oh, it could be overthrows though. It's not fun keeping wicket out there, Danny, I wouldn't say.
No, I wouldn't have thought so. But, you know, Lottie's bowled really well here. And I think, but Ebony used to talk me through how far she used to hit the ball when she was playing. So I think that's the first 6 I've seen her hit in a while.
Rainford-Brent again pulls out to the onside. She'll get a single for it as Lydia Greenway runs in from deep mid-wicket. Now, Ebony, I think, holds a record in women's cricket. Did she get 5 consecutive ducks? It's something of that sort. I think it was 3 ducks in a day is the record. That's what it is. 3 ducks in a day. Short. Played it to the onside to field it at short, fine leg. 3 ducks in a day. How do you do that?
Well, we're about to find out, I think.
Well, Andrew Sampson is on that. He's on the case. He's going to tell us all about it.
Well, I've got no idea
when
what the score is, but never mind. 3 ducks in 24 hours.
53 for 2 is the next ball. It's worked into the onside by Judd. And once more, Lydia Greenway coming in from the deep mid-wicket boundary. One of the finest fielders in women's cricket. That's one thing that's that you've lost. But I suppose you've gained a Fran Wilson and a Danny Wyatt, both of whom are tremendous fielders. End of the 7th over, 54 for 2. Just a reminder, you can watch all this on the red button as well as the BBC website. And if you missed anything, you can watch it on the iPlayer for 30 days. 30 days. In fact, you can re-watch it every day for 30 days if that really took your fancy. Right, change of bowler at the pavilion end as Andrew Sampson gives me information.
3 ducks in 24 hours for Ebony. They played one day in 2020 internationals against South Africa. They played one day, she got a duck. The next day they played 2 back-to-back games on the same day, and she got 2 more ducks.
Did she play the next game?
Probably not.
Fazeer Mohammed is in, left arm round the wicket, is worked into the offside by Harry Judd, who's playing this T20 in much the same way that Alistair Cook, you play a test match, I'd say, at the moment.
He's a couple of early wickets and he's just knocking it around nicely. I expect acceleration a bit later on. Maybe he doesn't want to let Daggers come back in and add to his 30.
Well, no, we've got to work with Daggers later, and I'm not sure we could cope with all of that. Fazeer Mahmood is in again, is played off the back foot by Rainford-Brent. Out to Andy Parsons, who's out at deep mid. How are you finding this commentary lark? Did you fancy taking over from us at some point?
This is probably only the second ever time I've ever done it. I think you can probably tell, I think I did a little stint.
Mahmood falls again and is swept down through deep backward square leg. He's going to pick up a single. Yeah.
Sorry, I forgot that you've got to actually watch the cricket.
Well, I was going to let you do a ball, actually. I was going to assess you.
Oh, OK.
Do you fancy it?
Well, just do what you do and just say what you see.
Well, what? You think it's as simple as that? I'll do this ball. Fazeer Mahmood, tall, angular, bowls. That's driven firmly down the ground. It's going to make it all the way to the... No, it isn't. There's a man obscuring my view, who's Andy Parsons. And Jamie Laing has done the fielding. They pick up a single. The score moves to 58 for 2.
I like to summarise a bit of it. I think because Swann, that's what Swanny does, isn't he? Just doesn't say anything. Here comes Mahmood anyway. Yeah. Left arm around the wicket, tosses one up, and Harry just knocks it into the leg side, just past the wicket for an easy, comfortable single. That
was terrific.
And if you're listening on the tractor at home, on the combine, as most of my friends do, probably that's all you need, isn't it?
Well, you need a little bit of colour as well. I want you to talk about the Hughes and the Willows and the people in their deck chairs as Fazeer Mahmood is in once more and is cut off the back foot by Brentford-Rain out towards Lydia Greenway on the boundary, and they'll come through for one more. 60 for 2 at the end of 8 overs. I think you've got a future in it. Danny, does it appeal to you?
I thought it was really good, actually.
What you saying?
I think with my accent, I'm not sure I'll be particularly good at this. I think the Geordiness of me comes out now and again. You know, it's a bit strong.
World Cup winner Danny Hazel's accent, Geordie accent, is very, very popular on 5 Live. There's John Murray, the great football commentator, of course.
Oh,
it's also one of the 2 most trusted accents in Britain, isn't it?
Where do you get your stats from?
That I can't tell you that. Otherwise, you really will take over my job. Is this going to be Simon Mann? He's winding up. Like, if you've ever seen the Indian film Lagan, there's a character.
He looked like he was. I think he was doing his left arm, wasn't he? Warming up his left arm. I assume he's going to bowl right. Oh no, he's not. I
think he's
I couldn't see from the angle. James Taylor was in the way. So left arm.
It is left arm. Round the wicket. He bowls a tossed-up delivery. Oh, it was stumping. Oh, wait to see the decision. Well, they keep on appealing. There's only so many appeals you can get given. Oh, Ebony is gone. She's in a sprawling mess on the ground and has been helped to her feet by Michael Vaughan, but will now have to depart for what a spectacular 10 from 8 balls, stumped But I've no idea who's keeping wicket anymore. Is it Greg James?
That is definitely Greg James, I think. That was, yeah, ugly cricket, I think you could describe that, but Simon Mann won't think that, will he?
He's
lovely left arm.
Exceptionally good game he's having at the moment, Simon Mann. You know, I mean, as I reminded him before the start of play, Jack Hobbs got 97 of his hundreds after the age of 40, and SF Barnes bowled out the West Indies when playing for Wales well into his 50s. So I think there's still hope. Again, more stats from your book. Yeah. Any injuries in the camp? I mean,
I don't think so. I don't think so. It was all okay when I left the ground this morning. I've never seen a bloke standing up to a spinner taking a full length dive and the ball straight into it. I thought that was exceptional dedication to the cause.
But he stayed low, didn't he? you could, I suppose, say that. Now, Danny, it's been presumably a roller coaster and insane ride since the World Cup.
Yeah, obviously after the World Cup, a couple of days after that was a little bit of a blur, a little bit of a whirlwind, but we're straight into the Super League now, and yeah, it's going well so far. Not quite for us, but it's
not yes.
Yeah, it's not quite going so well for Lancashire, but you know, as a spectacle itself, it's going really well.
Well, it's a huge moment in this game because Phil Tufnell has strode out to bat, a man who once appeared with was it Giddins, Mullally, and Fraser in a bottom four of some renown. I think he managed to bat at number 10 once or twice for England.
That must have been behind Devon. Or Devon or Mullally.
I think it's Mullally. Giddins, it was Giddins. Giddins was 11 when Tuffers was 10, apparently. Well, he looks to advance. And Simon Mann is now threatening to mancad Harry Judd at the other. The whole scene's gone horribly ill.
It's gone up a level, hasn't it?
It is a bit under-19 World Cup, isn't it? As Simon Mann starts in again. He's got 4 paces, and then he bowls an extraordinary delivery. It bounced twice. It could have bounced 4 or 5 times. That Tufnell not somehow managed to get his under edge on it and squirt it round a corner for a single. There was a groan then from Simon Mann that suggests, yes, Danny Hazel's face is a picture at the moment. I don't think you've ever seen anything quite like that, have you?
Well, fellow spinners, don't want to get out to the same spinner, do you? Swann would never want to get out to the off spinner from the opposition.
Are you calling Simon Mann a fellow spinner? Played nicely by Harry Judd to long off for a single.
Well, Tuffers, really. Do you know, Tuffers with his left arm spin, but I've just seen the way Tuffers has run up there between the wickets. It's gingerly was all right. And slowly. I know I'm not the best person to talk about running styles, but...
No, it's a bit like Woody from Toy Story, I always say. That ball's full and played back on the wicket and there's no run. Nothing wrong with that. It's a very popular film.
You've been hanging out too much with Swann, haven't you?
Hanging out at all with Swann can be too much. Have we discussed, by the way, what the correct nomenclature for getting out to the first ball of a match is? As Simon Mann is in, but another short, filthy delivery down the legs. Quite well taken in the end.
I'm glad you explained that word for the last... I didn't know what you said to that just before.
Sorry.
What was that word? What did you say?
Nomenclature.
Okay, well, I assume it's a diamond duck.
Diamond?
I think that's a diamond duck, isn't it? First ball of the game.
Well, Tammy Beaumont got out to one yesterday. As Simon Mann bowls a ball that pitches quite close to the batsman, which is good. It's driven through mid-off. They should get... they should get 3 for it, but Tuffers has ambled 1 to score. Moves on to 63 for 3. Somebody suggested to it was a Palladian duck.
Well, I've never heard of that. So
Diamond, you go with Diamond, would you?
Diamond, I think, but there's a man who'll never.
Are you being kicked out?
I am getting kicked out. We'll never know about that. Certainly the way he played, wasted talent down at 10 or 11 for Leicestershire. Here comes the man of the moment.
Well, he is the Yuvraj Singh of this outfit, the most expensive man in TMS 60th anniversary match history. There's Charles Dagnall. It looked pretty tough out there. Conditions were tricky. Yohan Blake was steaming in off his...
He was really quick.
Yeah.
I didn't like it.
I could see that. You were only just sort of nudging it into the onside, weren't you?
Yeah, he pinned me first ball.
Fazeer is in again. And falls a ball that's driven back at him. Oh, a diving attempt. Squirts past the bowler and they'll come through for single. This is weird, you not actually doing commentary.
Well, do you want to summarise?
Yeah.
I can give
you summarise your innings for us. It was
mixed.
They were great moments.
Yeah, I mean, I hit a couple of sixes. That was nice.
Fazeer bowls again. He's worked into the onside for a little cheeky single by Harry Judd. I think that's Harry saying push, 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 is it? Tough as he's not a man to be pushed.
No, he's not. He's to be perfectly honest, I'm not quite sure about Tufnell's warm-up for today's game.
What was it? It was a cigarette, was it?
It was, yeah, a couple.
A couple, yeah. Well, he bowled 2 or 3 balls in the nets, didn't he? Buzzers in again. Well, the left-arm spinners we got today. He drives that rather elegantly up to Andy Parsons at mid-off for a single.
The elegance stopped, though, when he started running, as he shuffles down to the non-striker's end. I tell you what, Yohan Blake has properly pinned me. He's actually wrapped me on my thumb. And so, second innings could be interesting.
Oh, well, you're right, thumb. Next ball's played on the full up to mid-on, and Phil Tufnell's doing a very good impersonation of Julie Walters' character, Mrs. Overall, from Acorn Antiques, as he shuffles somewhat slowly from one end to the other.
You can see Tuffers carrying a tea tray, can't you?
Do you care for some sugar, free sugar? Pushed up to the bowler once more, no run, 67 for 3. Instead, quite well placed, though, you'd have to say you are, Daggers. Team Agnew.
Well, 67 for 3, Harry Judd's the boy.
Yeah.
I mean,
a lot rests on him. Again, flicked into the onside by Tuffers, and he comes through for another well-judged, very, very long single.
the thing is about Harry Judd, he's not got a great deal going for him. You know, he's young, he's good-looking, he's a pop star, and he's got talent with the bat as well, and he's probably minted too. So, you know, if he can sort of share a little bit out to everybody else, that'd be fantastic.
The greenness of your envy is
alarming.
Only slightly less green than my trousers. I get a score is 60 over 3, 10 overs have gone. Tuffers has 5 from 8. Judd 8 from 12. It's all got a little bit unspectacular. More thoughts from Charlie Dagnall. Then for the first time today, it'll be Jonathan Agnew.
Well, thank you, Dan. Danny Hazel alongside me as well. Lancashire and England player. Have you learnt anything today?
That was very impressive, that. You said to me before we went on that you had a belt of a cricket bat, and you definitely did. It's a good few sixes.
Oh, all this praise coming towards me. I just can't take it. More, please.
Well, here we go. I must admit, I've been very busy. We've got Marcel Somerville, who I think dropped a bit of a straightforward catch earlier on, didn't he? He hasn't.
That's right. Off me.
Yeah. I did wonder after his time on Love Island quite what that impact might have on his eyesight. I think we now have the answer. But here we go. He's coming on to bowl. Goodness knows what it's going to be. And he's bowling to Phil Tufnell. And that's, well, it's a beamer. Well, it's not that sort of match, is it? And the keeper's missed it. It has to be wide, surely.
Well, it's gone for 4, I guess. Coaching session mid-game.
Yeah, it's a horrible delivery. Horrible delivery. But anyway, Michael Vaughan's giving some coaching. Is Greg James back behind the stumps again? I've lost track of this.
Well, I don't know if you knew, but when I was out there, he actually was on air on Radio 1. And when a catch came to him off Don Joly, and he dropped it. He shelled it live on Radio 1.
Well, to be fair to him, I don't think he's ever kept wicket before, has he? Because he shows off a bit about his bowling. In fact, he bowled James Anderson out once. Let's see how Marcel goes here, shall we? Well, that's a bit better. And he's chipped through mid-wicket. It's another run to Phil Tufnell. That's Charles Edwards out there coming in to do the fielding. 74 for 3.
Can we have a word about James Taylor's attire?
Yes.
The umpire.
It's dressed down, isn't it?
It is definitely. Very, very tight jeans.
I've got a lot of faith in Judd. Judd was worth a lot of rhubarb, by the way. I've seen him play very well before. Not sure how he'll cope with this.
No.
Because, yes, he turns that straight there to mid-wicket. He's a bit of a more serious batsman, you see, than probably most of we've seen so far. In fact, I'd say than any that we've seen so far.
Well, Harry Judd got 72 not out. I heard that, don't worry.
74 for 3. Let's look at Marcel again. Oh, it's a bit shorter and very well. Oh dear, it's a horrible ball, isn't it?
I hope he was better on Love Island.
Well, I think he probably was. I think he was more upright in his delivery in Love Island. He looks to be falling away a bit, Danny, doesn't he?
I actually religiously watched Love Island, so I've seen quite a bit of Marcel.
Oh, do you? Oh, well, you can tell us all about him. There's more runs, though, and Fazeer under pressure down here. Did he touch the rope? Did he touch the rope?
I don't know, but those tennis shoes he's wearing are quite dashing.
They are. So what can you tell us about Marcel on Love Island, then?
So he was on Love Island, and before that he was in the Blazing Squad.
Right.
And that was his kind of thing. Every time he saw somebody who was on the Blazing Squad.
Just a quick one. Jonathan, do you know what the Blazing Squad is?
I'm beginning to wonder. Here's Marcel again. That's how he gets. He crouches down there a bit, and he's actually letting go of the ball. He might want to work on that a bit. But there's one down to third man. I think it looks like Simon Mann fielding there. Crikey, it's a geriatric. Anyway, he did get a very good catcher, didn't he? Into the sun?
He did.
I thought earlier
I
on.
think he made a little bit of a meal of it. I think
it
he
was
caught
into
it
the
in
sun.
his elbows.
It was into the sun. 78 for 3. We're in the 11th over of this extraordinary match. This is Marcel from Love Island delivering another wide to Tufnell down the leg side. Did Taylor? Yes, he has called it a wide.
Tufnell on his hands and knees again.
Yes. I'm a little bit concerned, if I can just say as team coach, to see Tufnell batting at 5. I mean, that is a worry. That is a worry.
And it also sort of does down the fact that I went in at 3. I don't feel good about myself anymore.
Here's Marcel. Oh, dear. This is a horrible over. How many balls have we had? Andrew Sampson's beside me. How many balls have been in this over, Andrew? I'm losing count.
I have no idea.
Okay,
no, they've been 8 altogether, but 4 of them were legitimate.
Right. Okay. 12 from the over. Let's see. Try and get it. Go on, Marcel. Get it straight. Well, that's down the leg side. Well, I think he's been generous there, James. I think probably in the interests...
There's only 5 balls gone.
Yeah, but we haven't got any floodlights. And I think he's just a bit concerned that actually this game wouldn't end in daylight if Marcel was allowed his full allocation. I suspect that's the last we'll see of Marcel with the ball. I mean, Danny, if you happen to be captain out there, do you think he's probably blown his lot there, I think, isn't he?
Yeah, he can probably take a blow, can't he?
Yeah.
Apparently.
Well, I've got 9 overs to go. I don't know what a good score is. I mean, you've been out there, Daggers. I mean...
A good score, something in and around about 350. That would be a good score to get.
OK. But we're not going to get that, though.
No, I think we're looking at about 120-ish at the moment.
Right, Ed Smith's bowling. That was quite sharp. Wow. That surprised me.
I thought he bowled little offies.
So did I. Well, I was a bit surprised by that. That was quite a lively delivery to Harry Judd.
Looks a bit menacing.
It does look menacing. Judd on strike. Now, that's a nice shot. See, he's got class, is Harry Judd.
Go!
81 for 3. Judd looks good out there. I mean, he looks good anywhere.
81 for 3. We've got a chap on crutches who's just arrived beside me. He better explain himself in a minute, but there's not the 4 runs.
And that's Tufnell.
Not many athletes you'd expect to see on crutches, hobbling around, are they? They were your crutches at the park there, weren't they, sir?
Yeah, they were, unfortunately. I'm not sure...
Let's give it up. You're Alistair Browning. It's lovely to see you here.
How are you doing?
I'm teasing you. I'm sorry. Thanks for coming.
Thank you very much for having me, yeah.
I met you at a very nice dinner. Was it last year? This is driven out towards mid-off. Oh, look at Andy Parsons flag that one through. That was magnificent, and it's probably gone on the hamstring.
He's pulled a hamstring.
That was a beautiful escort. It's just lovely to see you. What on earth brings you down here today?
Well, I actually only live about 3 miles away.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I spend a lot of time running around the edges of this cricket pitch. It's literally some of the best grass in Leeds, and it's a really big pitch, so you can get a good lap around the outside. So, yeah, I mean, and I come around here most days as well. So it's lovely to be here, quite different from the normal surrounds I get. But
absolutely.
It's nice to see it
well, it's lovely to see you. You better tell us what you've done, for goodness sake.
Well, I've had an operation on my hip, my hamstring, to have my hamstring tendons reattached to my hip. It's been a long, ongoing...
That's too much detail.
Yeah.
That is too much detail. But you're on the road, as it were, to recovery.
Hopefully, yeah, fingers crossed.
Good lad. That's a shocking ball from Smith. Well, it's shot down to the bell. Poor old Tuffers. Yes. Well, he's smiling at it, but actually that came in him like a rocket. Tufnell's 14 not out.
How has this happened, Aggers?
Well, I don't know, but...
May I ask, how did you unattach your hamstring?
Well, you...
Well, it had to happen. He just got a bit carried away, didn't he, Tuffers? I mean, he got to 14. I suspect probably, only the second or third time in his career, I'm guessing, but he wouldn't know too often, I don't think, the dizzy heights of 14, would he?
Well, he did get 67 once.
Oh, he did get once.
But, yeah,
but that was against some joke bowling. I mean, this is a serious match like this.
Ed Smith, proper bowler, yeah.
Yeah, no, I think he got a little bit ahead of himself there.
It's a shame. It was going so well for Tuffers, but his head was in the air. And technique sadly lacking a little bit. But he's there to bowl, Aggers. Come on, you're his coach. Well, I don't think he needs too many harsh words.
No, that is true. And I've actually, having seen the pitch, I was quite happy with Michael Vaughan's decision, by the way, to bowl first, because it's going to turn. We've got
a bit of pace.
We've got Graeme Swann, I think, somewhat embarrassed. Did you see Alistair?
Yeah, straight out, first ball.
I know, first ball of the match. So I think he owes us. I think he owes us something.
To the longest run-up of all time as well. It's very impressive.
Quite scary.
Yeah,
quite scary.
He needed to reverse about a mile back to get that in.
Well, look who's coming in here. It's Simon Hughes, who I didn't think was in my team originally. But he was transferred, and so we've ended up with him. But no, he's going to be all right. He wasn't, I mean, first-class level, he was, about your standard, wasn't he, really?
Well, we can expect 30 odd not out then from Simon.
It's unfortunate that in the match programme, have you seen his photograph in the biography?
No.
It's Simon Hughes MP. It's a shame.
Oh dear.
It's a bit of a collector's item.
Oh dear.
But anyway, that's the situation. So who's coming on to bowl now?
Simon
Mann's back.
With his left arm donkey
He
drops.
bowled 1 over for 3 early. I got a wicket, actually. Left arm round. That's a horrible delivery. And they're going to get 4 here, I imagine. Yes, they will.
Yes. Played Harry.
Yeah, well done, Harry. See, I think Harry actually is my man here. But you might get back in again.
Apparently so. If we're all out, I can go and have another go. That'll be fun.
Well, to be honest with you, I think I saw enough first time round. If I'm honest, I might send Graeme Swann out there next time, if that's all right.
He's already out.
He's got more to offer. 98 for 4 in the 13th. Look at Simon Mann, slightly off the wrong foot, but he's gone for 4 more here. Fazeer's not going to get there. 4 more. Well, he's going around the park.
Look at the hands on hips on Simon Mann.
I know.
Devastated he is.
You can watch this if you're listening, by the way, and you really want to watch it. Well, you can by pressing the red button on your telly. Or you can watch online as well. I mean, we're everywhere. And if you can't watch it or catch up, it's actually on the iPlayer for 30 days. So.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Oh, that's great. Mum and Dad can watch.
Indeed. Here's Mann again. Pulled away to mid-wicket. That's not a bad piece of fielding, actually. Was that Michael Vaughan there? I think it was. Getting down quite low. And
any more instructions for if I have to go back in, coach?
Yeah, I want to score at 15 and over and not get out.
OK, no props.
102 for 4 in the 13th. Lovely to see Alistair Cook here, by the way. Very, very impressed with that. I saw him on having some practice. And, look at Simon Mann there. So there's something rather typical about that. Going for the Mancad. That is very Simon Mann. I think he's just inside there. What do you think of that?
Yeah, that was touch and go, wasn't it?
Wow. Goodness sake.
That's
not in the spirit of TMS. I'm sorry.
Upset you were saying that people shouldn't watch it unless they really want to. I mean, it's worth watching just to see the sun out in Leeds, to be honest. It's a glorious afternoon. Look at it.
Well, that's a
historic event. I've been here a lot of times and it's rarely like this.
Well, that's a fair point. 102 for 4. We're in the 13th. You better tell us about your cricket ability anyway, Alistair, at some stage, because clearly not a renowned cricketer, but I'll bet you've played a bit. 102 for 4.
Well, my cricket career started and ended very close to here at primary school, and I think it was mostly to do with lack of concentration on the boundary line, and that was the end of it. My brother, though, he would love to tell you that he should have played for Yorkshire.
Yes.
But he should have played for Leeds United and Leeds Rhinos as well, depending on how he's feeling. Yeah.
Okay. He's fit, is he? He's on good form.
He's fit and good. He's racing this weekend in Stockholm, so hopefully he'll be good.
Now, here's Mann then bowling round the ground. I never thought I'd be commentating. That's a very confident appeal, which James Taylor is having nothing to do with as the umpire, and I think probably rightly so. Greg James, though, the keeper, very confident. Simon Mann's trying to call for his technology. He likes his technology, Simon. I think that's a good decision. He was on the front foot. He's on the front foot. There's no point reviewing it over here. You can do that as much as you like. We haven't got the technology. I'm very sorry.
What's it saying? Here we go.
No, that's not out. So Alistair Brown on one side and Baroness Tanny Lee Thompson. Oh, Jay Thompson, sorry, I was watching a replay there. Tanny, lovely to see you. What will you make of this shambles?
Do you know, I'm having a lovely day. What I love about cricket, and I wouldn't say I'm an expert at all, is the fact you can sit out in the sun, you can have a chat, and you can just watch the world go by.
I know.
It's really lovely.
I know. It's good fun, actually. It rather conveys, I hope, the spirit of what this silly old programme's all about that we enjoy. And there's some good fun being had out there. I'm a bit concerned I haven't got enough runs, though, I'm honest. There's the projected scores. 158. But you see, there's no knowing what a good score is. Ed Smith's still bowling, and that's a cunning little shot, you see. Harry, he was worth my rhubarb. He was worth. That's a classy shot, actually, isn't it, to be honest?
Have they listened to you in terms of you offering advice to them?
Well, no, and I've left most of it to my skipper on the advice front, Tanny, because I just thought, you know, he knows all about these sort of huddles. He's a bit closer to the players these days, as tough as than I possibly am. So, a bit of modern terminology, I think, is sorted out where they're going tonight for a drink after the game, that sort of thing. That's Ed Smith again. That's quite a fast ball, but it's going to be 4 more out to deep square leg. Issa's not going to get there. She's put some good pace on though. But another boundary to Harry Judd, 29. Now, if he gets it right, he's got to score a 6 here, because you have to retire at 30. So I'd like him here to hit a 6.
It was quite funny when I arrived here this morning. Everyone was very laid back and just said, "No, it's just a bit of a laugh. It's not serious at all." And the closer we got, it got more and more serious.
It is
tactics
serious. We cannot lose. Yep. We cannot lose. It'd be awful. Imagine losing to Jeff Boycott's team. Michael, I could put up with them the next 5 days. So no, we have to win. As simple as that. Even if we have to cheat. In goes Smith. Then let's have a look at this. Another bouncer. Look at Harry go there. Well, that's not bad. He's got to retire. But I'll tell you what, he's coming back for some more. The others can all run themselves out for all I care. I want to see Harry back again, because that was a terrific shot at the end there to finish it off. Hostile ball from Smith, look at that. Proper hook shot.
Absolutely, yeah, nearly took the umpire out on the way there as well, didn't he?
Right, now, all I'll say about what remains in the batting order, it's a bit fluid. And I think it looks as if Laura Wright's coming in next. She sang beautifully early on, and she always starts off these test matches.
How is she with the bat, though?
I had a brief talk with her earlier. I would say quite inexperienced.
Okay.
So, in fact, I'm not sure she's ever batted before. So this could be interesting.
Quite, then. Just quite inexperienced.
Yeah, so, I mean, she's got a lovely voice. And, well, she's not bothering to take guard. Now, that is very confident. Very confident indeed. And, well, she's away. Contact. Forced off the back foot, square through the offside. Now, that is a quality shot. Didn't bother taking guard. She basically said, bring it on. That's not bad for someone who's never batted before.
Not bad at all.
No. 116 for 4. Simon Hughes. Oh, now what happened there? Did he nick that? It's been hit on the helmet. Anyway, that's nasty blow for Greg James there behind the stumps. But it might have come off an edge too. I wouldn't mind seeing a replay of that if it's possible. He didn't get his gloves on it.
At least he still wasn't on the phone. I saw him on the telephone.
He was on the
for about
phone
10 minutes earlier.
Smith again, another short ball, and Hughes not able to get hold of that. 0 from 3 balls for Simon Hughes. Oh dear. Well, I hope, Greg. Let's have a look at this. Well, he's advancing as well from behind the stumps, which is unusual. Yes, he has nicked that drop catch. That's a drop catch, and it seemed to hit him in the neck. Now, we're joining Ebony Rainford-Brent. Ebony.
Yes, hello, I'm here with Phil Tufnell and Harry, of course, who've both just come out. First of all, Skip, how did it go for you?
I thought it was a free hit. Overhead height, free hit in 2020. They changed the rules. They're making it up as they go along. Anyway, I thoroughly enjoyed that. Hit a nice couple through the offside. Foot to the pitch of the ball, high elbow, and then miss one.
And glorious stuff. And are you feeling confident looking at the team? Do you think enough on the...
Well, yeah, I think we need a few more. 150, 160, I think, will be challenging. So... very well done. This boy played well.
Yeah, talk us through it, Harry. How did it feel out there?
Yeah, it's good. I'm not used to going in at 4. It's quite sketchy. I like to just get out and open. But a bit slow to begin with, but I enjoyed a bit of pace on the ball from Ed Smith. Not that quick, but just a bit something to work with. So.
And you said that you don't like going out there, but I know you were actually pacing around pretty much, getting a bit frustrated before going. You're a bit etchy out there.
I know. Well, that's the thing. I like to just get out there, open up, no waiting around. But, no, it went well. It's a great day, incredible turnout, beautiful weather. What more could you want?
Brilliant. Well, look, let's go back to you, Aggers. No doubt you're putting a lot of banter up there.
Well, trying, Ebony. Thanks very much. Not in that calibre, of course. I just think Tuffer's dizzy heights of 14. Got a bit carried away. Can we get Simon Hughes off the mark? That's the question. I mean, Laura Wright's 1 not out from 1. She's never batted before. She's facing Greg James, who does rather fancy himself as a bowler. He got an England player out once. Now, in comes James then, over the wicket, and bowls a horrible delivery. And, well, she's getting bat on ball, Laura. You can't argue with that. The person who got out was James Anderson. But apart from that, fair enough. Not everyone gets an England player out every day, do they?
Not sure I have, but
no.
Ever, actually.
No, but it's come on, well done, Laura. She's looking the part here, though. Here's Greg James again. And, OK, well, again, I think the idea was right. I think she might have held her bat before, Tanny. She's not looking like a complete novice.
I think she's getting a bit of coaching as well as she's going along. I think know, some of the other players are offering some advice as well.
Oh, that's rather nice.
She looks very happy and confident out there.
She's got the right stance. Now, oh dear, this is straight, but well played again. No run. She might have stolen one there to Charlotte, who's quite deep at mid-on. 116 for 4. We're halfway through the 15th over now. Here's Greg James. Bowling some quite crafty-looking off-spin. Oh, well played, Laura. Well played. I like that.
You in a bit of a quandary here as the team manager. You know, you could do with these guys to either hit some runs or pass it on, really. Or
Alistair, to be honest, looking at what's to come, I want this lot all to run themselves out. And I want to see Charles Dagnall and Harry Judd out there having another go for the last 2 overs.
Yeah, but is it not a struggle? That would be my tactic. These people, it's their first ever cricket match.
Doesn't matter.
They're enjoying it. You're not bothered. That's not the spirit of it, is it?
We can't lose. We can't lose. Look at Simon, 4 balls. Still not off the mark. This is the analyst. This is the man who I watch in intervals in test matches, going out there with his bat and telling everyone how to do it. Look at it. 4 balls, he still hasn't scored a run yet. Come on, Simon, for goodness sake. James is going for a slightly longer run here as well. This could be crafty. Oh, no, 5 balls. Come on, analyst.
Don't do as I do as I say.
Exactly it, Tanny, exactly it. And he's blocked out, well, dear oh me. Well, we're a little bit of a sort of stagnant mess here, Andrew. What's your analysis of things?
Well, Laura Wright's just dominating this partnership, isn't she? She's got 100% of the 2 runs in the partnership. Simon Hughes.
Yeah. Very well spotted.
How many rhubarbs did he go for?
Whatever was too many. I think to be honest, I think Jeffrey Boycott bought him for 3, and then said that actually he wasn't worth 3 when he played professionally. I thought it was a bit harsh.
Didn't he? Yeah, it is a bit harsh.
It was a bit harsh. But anyway,
he needs to score some runs.
5 balls. Now look at Naga down there getting some coaching. She hasn't got pads on. I think she ought to put those on before she goes out.
Well, she told me earlier that she's never held a bat before, so she's slightly nervous. She was hoping that she wouldn't have to go on at all.
As a golf swing there. Now, Alison Mitchell bowling here. Not sure what that was, except it was very wide. And she's doing a boycott with her cap the wrong way round too. Come on, Ali, you've got to bowl straight. 117 for 4. Wasn't that not a wide? Be far too generous. It was never that generous with me, John Holder. Oh, Ali, that's got to be a wide. Big one. 118 for 4. Going at just under 8 and over. I'm not sure if that's enough. Come on, Ali, get a straight one. Oh, dear, get the arm up. Another wide. Well left, Laura.
It's helping the run rate a little bit, this, isn't it?
Well, I'll tell you what, she's not showing any pressure at all, Laura, I think. She's used to performing live, let's face it. Mitchell again. Oh, dear. I mean, it's going offside, leg side. That should be a wide, John Holder. No, he's been very, very kindly. Very generous. 118 for 4. Oh, Mitchell has bowled one. That was a Harmison.
That's not even wide.
And she's bowled it to Marcel, who's picked it up at slip. Dear me. This over's never going to end.
Well, she's bowled 5 wide so far, but fortunately John Holder's only called 2 of them.
Well, ridiculous. Now, and Marcel again will field that. There we are. I don't know what to say about this. This is one of my Test match special colleagues, and I can't be harsh.
Her resilience is good.
Yes.
She's still smiling and keeping going.
That's a very good point. Oh, right, go on, Laura, smack it. Well, good girl. Now, that is 4. That's a terrific shot. Well done, Laura. 124 for 4. That's a really good shot.
Big celebration.
Well, I like that. That is, I suspect, I'm only guessing, but I think the first 4 she's ever hit, which is fantastic. It's a bottom-handed grip, but she's hit that well. 124 for 4.
Lovely shot.
Yeah, terrific shot. Oh dear, here we go again. Well, that might not be a run this time. Hit out to straight mid-wicket. Michael Vaughan fielding there, so a few worries. I think so. Who's going to bring back? Who do you bring back for the last 4 overs of this innings? That's the question.
I don't know. I just want to see you regret saying that she needs to be out.
Well, actually, I do. She's flying. There. She is flying. Meanwhile, the analyst, frankly, is blocking up an end and being thoroughly embarrassing. So, anyway, that over, thankfully, has come to an end. And how many were off that in the end, Andrew? It was a very long one.
Just the 8 officially.
8 officially, yes, OK. 125 for 4. Tanny's staying here. It's lovely to see Tanny. And Dan, I think, is going to see this shambles of innings through to a close. And I'm estimating, I don't know, 150 might be a reasonable score, Dan, but I don't think they need many more overs like that from Alison Mitchell.
Well, Tuffers is very concerned. He doesn't think they've got enough. Thank you very much. As start of a new over, Greg James is bowling it, and Laura Wright, who I've seen bowl, but I've never seen her bat. So I took a couple of fabulous wickets at Althorp in a charity game last year, but then she had to leave early to go and become a megastar. Which means I've never seen her bat, but I gave her some handy tips before she went out, which was look at the ball and hit it hard. Well, she took half. Oh my word! Did that ball touch the cap? No. Vaughan says no, as that ball went sidling underneath Laura's bat. Did that touch the cap? That looked very close to touching the cap. I'm joined by Victor Marks. Hello, Vic.
Hello, Daniel.
James is in again. Oh, well defended. Not that that's really the point of the game at this stage, but shall I get a single for it? Is that Ali Mitchell fielding it out there? I think it is. Tanny, what on earth are you making of this catalogue of elite sport?
I'm here for the cake, to be honest.
Yeah, aren't we all?
They promised me cake, TMS, cake.
Yeah.
Do you know what? It's been fascinating, you know, just watching how serious people are getting once they're out there.
Oh, yeah.
And laughing and joking. People want to win. This is really, really serious stuff. So what I love about cricket, just you can sit in the sun, watch the ball go by, have a chat, and it's been brilliant. It's been really good fun.
I think you have just described cricket absolutely perfectly. You turn up in the sun, have a chat. That's pretty much what you used to do in your day, isn't it, Vic?
Well,
no run off that last ball.
I've been here very long, but I've looked at, and it's that familiar feeling of people are pretending not to be trying very hard, but in fact they are. But they don't really quite want to show it on a sort of festival day like today.
Well, Simon Hughes is trying so hard. He's hit no runs off 6 balls. He's now gone off the mark with that single. But he was never really renowned for his batting. Did you ever see Simon bat, Tanny?
Do you know, I don't think I did. My dad dragged me to lots of cricket when I was young, so I'd seen lots.
Well, it wouldn't have been.
I'm not an expert, though.
It wouldn't have taken long. You might have just nipped off to get a Kit Kat or something. Or, you know, other chocolate bars are available. It wasn't really his strong suit. Wasn't.
He's
batting.
looking quite serious, isn't he?
Oh, he means it. He really, really means it. There are 19 balls remaining as James is in again. Greg James, that is, and. He's bowling leg theory at Laura, right? Do you think that's the right move without a short leg?
I have no idea, Sir Daniel, but Simon, you're right, I played a lot against Simon, was not a great batsman, but a handy sort of number 10. But we all laugh in the press box nowadays that tea time, every day, for his Channel 4 duties as the analyst, he goes out with a bat right out into the middle with 20,000 there watching, and then he does some demonstrations for the camera. And, you know, there's a few old pros up there saying, what the devil's he doing telling anyone? And he's reinforcing that today, I think.
I think he is. When he was struggling to get Radio 1 DJ Greg James off the square. They were none for 3. Now it's going to be Fazeer Mohammed who's back into the attack, our colleague during these West Indies Test matches. He's sporting an absolutely fantastic beard, is Fazeer. And he's...
Well, he must be a spinner.
Yes, well, he is, actually. Have you not seen him bowl? He is a spinner. He's got tremendous lustrous hair, like a lot of people in cricket. Not you or I. As he's in, bowls a flat ball. That's going to be close. That's plumb. Surely up goes the finger of umpire John Holder. And well, I think he was beaten for pace. It was just a little bit too slow, wasn't it? It was short. It was filthy. It was dreadful, and it was just that little bit too good for Simon Hughes. He's gone for 1 from 8 balls. 127 for 5.
Well, the best bit about that piece of cricket, I thought, was the umpiring, probably. Well, I hadn't really got an international umpire.
I don't think it was going over the top. What will Hawkeye tell us?
Having it work.
Oh, that's out, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Back leg in front of...
Simon Hughes looks down the wicket with dread. It's a horrible shot.
How do you think he would analyse that shot?
Well, he won't be playing that tomorrow afternoon at tea time without a ball involved when he's demonstrating something.
Well, it depends what he's demonstrating, I suppose.
Well, how not to, really.
Miles Jupp is coming to the crease. Now, he is a star of Balamory, of course. Archie the Inventor. He was in Rev. You ever watched Rev?
I did, yes.
Fantastic, wasn't it?
It was really funny.
He was a curate, wasn't
Brilliant.
He was a curate, yeah. Yes, he played Nigel in Rev, and he's currently making Howard's End for the BBC. You'll be familiar. Making it. Well, he's in it.
He's in it.
He's in it.
Right.
I mean, they're making it, and he's in it. I don't suppose he's actually, you know, sort of creating the digital film tape or whatever they use these days.
I mean, the other thing I know about Miles is, that, and you'll know this, I expect, he came on tour to India about 15 years ago as a cod reporter. He wasn't really, but he bluffed his way around India because he loves cricket.
He's sporting a pair of shades, and his first delivery, he's wide down the leg side. Imagine it'll be given as a wide by the umpire, or at least I'm encouraging him to, and he's not taking my advice. No run.
That's right. He wrote a book about it in the end.
Did he claim to be writing for a Scottish newspaper?
He did, or Scottish radio, or something like that. He never actually did any work at all. But he kind of got a pass, and he was there all the time, and a few people were very snippy towards him.
Well, he's just did a beautiful shot off the back foot through the covers. I think that's going to be cool. Not quite, because Lydia Greenway, who really is a tremendous fielder, swoops to her right, picks up and throws in, and they've come back for 2. 129 for 5.
And I think the other thing about Miles Jupp is that a great-grandfather played in the first ever Test match or something like that.
Oh.
I mean, I'm looking to you, Dan, but I'm looking even further. I see Andrews
Yeah, got
here.
him. Oh, well, I'm afraid he's been bowled. He's playing. It's that lethal long hop that Fazeer bowls. The slow long hop is absolutely impossible delivery to play on this spicy track. He's picked up his second wicket in the over. Jupp, after looking so solid with that back foot creaming drive through the offside, and he's getting some advice from Andy Parsons. I can't imagine what that might be, as he strides off now. He made 2, which is 2 more than Graeme Swann made. That did keep a bit low, didn't it?
It did. It was quite short, actually.
I mean, he's probably better off playing off the front foot in the end. He can't quite believe it. I think he's wondering if it did bounce just in front of the stump.
Well, that's one. Well, John Holder's umpire, he's got to be out.
Is it the third bounce that's actually the no
second
ball?
One's a bit dodgy, but I think it passed the bat. Anyway, we'll ask John Holder about that.
Sorry, Tanny, we suddenly started wibbling about the laws of cricket.
No, cricket's kind of really important to my family. My husband's a Yorkshireman.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
And he still thinks you should be born in Yorkshire to play for Yorkshire. When I had my daughter, he made me have Yorkshire soil on my back. So even though mud from the garden.
Ooh,
yeah.
Good grief.
Sorry. So even though she was born in Cardiff, she was born on Yorkshire soil in case she ever wanted to play cricket for Yorkshire.
Outside the off stump through to the keeper, left side. That is absolutely brilliant. I have a Yorkshire mother, and my grandfather tried to drag my mother from the bedroom that she was giving birth to me in into a car to take in mid-labour up to Yorkshire.
If he could have got away with it, he would have done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, my father was a Surrey fan, so he was having none of it. As Adam Garcia, who is the star of many, many a film. He's Australian, so he's got to be good. Hot Shoe Shuffle, Saturday Night Fever, Wicked, Coyote Ugly. He's a judge on Dancing with the Stars. You must watch a lot of that, don't you, Vic? You love a bit of Dancing with the Stars and Strictly. What's your favourite dance? Can you do a Botafogo? Your Fleckle, I should imagine, needs a bit of work.
Have you ever been asked that before?
No, I haven't. And I only know 2 Garcias now. The other one plays golf, so I'm finished, I'm afraid. Don't talk to me about dancing, I'm hopeless.
Really?
Ask where's Michael Vaughan, get him on.
Is your wife here? We can always ask her.
No, she's not here.
Oh, that's a terrible shame. So back to the soil story, or as Jeremy Cody would say, soil, the soil of Yorkshire, daubed over your back, in order that a child may be born from Yorkshire, create a great cricketer one day.
Yeah, she doesn't play cricket.
I'm terribly sorry to hear that. Why is that? And Lydia Greenway's come into the attack, not known for her bowling. She was a middle-order batter and World Cup winner, of course. First ball has been beautifully hoiked by Laura Wright, who moves to 9, which, just to remind listeners, if you're just joining us here on 5 Line Sports Extra, is 9 runs more than Graeme Swann scored. Next ball is driven into the offside by Garcia. Now, that looked like a decent shot. Not a great piece of fielding, I have to say, but by Yohan Blake. They've come through for a single, 131 for 6. Only got 10 balls left. Tanny as next ball. Oh, wow, how was that missed? That has turned a mile. It's rather well taken by... It's a figure so diminutive, I can only presume it's Isha Guha. It is Isha Guha behind the stumps. You, being a Yorkshire lass, next ball is again missed through the keeper, no run. What do you reckon's a good score out here? I mean, Yorkshire, it's a very tough environment to score runs, isn't it?
It is very tough. Oh, do you know what? I think they're doing okay as they are, actually, to be honest. I mean, I think Laura's been much more impressive than we expected it to be.
Well, she's just slapped a 4. And do you know what that is? That's what's known as a strapple.
We were
it's a
sort
front foot pull.
We're kind of saying, oh, you know, she's only going to be out there for a short while. I think she's pretty impressive, actually.
Let's ask Andrew. She's faced 19 balls. Who's faced more balls than her? I suppose Daggers. Anyone else?
No, Daggers only faced 19. Harry Judd faced 25.
Oh, and I have a horrible feeling that she's just been bowled. Yes, she has been bowled, but she finds time to high-five Michael Vaughan. So Lydia Greenway picks up her first wicket. And, so she faced 20 deliveries, which is the second most number of anybody in this side. And she's never picked up a bat before.
13. Really?
Yeah, 135 for 7, yes. I taught her everything. Do you know what I said to her?
Go on.
I said, forget about technique. Pick up the bat, look at the ball and whack it. And I think that didn't work off that ball. No,
overall, it's been
overall 13. I think that's a very, very good 13. Laura, of course, who sings Jerusalem a lot. You'd think she'd be sick of that song by now.
Well, it's the same practice, isn't it? They go on stage every night and deliver the same lines, I suppose.
I suppose so. 1 over to go. Jamie Laing has stepped to the crease. Now, Jamie Laing is the Joey Essex of Made in Chelsea. He's since he joined the show, he appears to have had relationships with Louise, Phoebe, Tara, Lucy, Jess, Naz and Frankie. I think he could probably tell Marcel a thing or two.
Is he big in Yorkshire?
Is he big in Yorkshire, Tanny?
No, I don't think so.
No.
I'm not sure he's that big in Devon, you know.
They've never made anything called, like, you know, Made in Skipton, have they?
No, or Made in Redcar.
Made in Redcar, what would that be like? There'd be not a lot of intrigue, would there? It'd all be very much what you see is what you get, I would think.
Yes.
Do you know?
I'm trying to... Of a place I lived for 20 years, I'm trying not to be rude about it, but there's some good chip shops there.
Well, splendid. You call a spade a spade. You do what you will.
Where's that Alistair Cook gone?
Greg James is going to bowl the last over. It is the last over of an innings that started at 4:30. Yeah, today. It was today, wasn't it? Started at 4:30 today. What's the time now? What's the cut-off time, Andrew?
5:45 at the moment. Good over rate.
That's not bad, is it? I think they're just inside the cut-off time, so there'll be no run penalty. There's a slip in and a backward point as the first ball is driven off an outside edge by Garcia. And a fan seems to have come onto the field and fielded the ball. Have they lost the fielder? Or is it just now a free-for-all?
Well, he looks like he's actually patrolling the field, this intruder.
Oh, yes. He's wearing a very natty T-shirt with sort of palm trees on it. It's light blue with yellow on it. He took a catch off a 6 by Dom Joly earlier on. And his reward is the field in a pair of jeans. As Greg James is in bowls. What's more, that's been hoiked nicely by Laing up to long on. Oh, they're coming back for a second. This could be close. That's out. That's very out indeed. So does this mean either that Naga Munchetty comes in or that Charlie Dagnall returns? We just don't know, because eight wickets have now gone down. 2 players have had to retire, Judd and Dagnall. Now, they are allowed back. Garcia has gone for 2. Run out. It's a very good throw at the non-striker's end.
It's a very fine piece of cricket.
It's great cricket all round.
Naga's hoping that she wasn't going to have to come out at all, so she might do sort of the generous thing and give her spot to somebody else.
Oh, somebody else on the crowd, are you thinking? Now, what's going on? Is it Daggers? It is going to be Daggers. So this is Daggers' chance to get 50 here. He's got... well, it isn't really. He's got 4 balls left.
And he's not
facing. It's his chance to get... Well, did he retire on exactly 30? No, he's in with a chance.
There is a technical chance we can...
Technical? 3 6s or 18? I mean, you know, technical. Well, what he needs now is a single from Laing. Because I don't think he's on strike, is he? Am I right, Victor?
You're right.
Have you been watching the game?
Yeah, no, you're right. He's at the non-strikers end. There are 4 balls left.
OK, 137 for 8.
So technically they could get 19.
Yeah.
In fact, well, technically they could get 24. Yes, but
yes.
seems unlikely. Now this should be a signal. That's gone straight through Andy Parsons. Not literally, that would be cause for some alarm, but it's gone bursting through his hands at around 26 miles an hour as he fell slowly to his left. And it does mean that 11 Rhubarb Dagnall is back on strike, 18 short of a 50. 3 balls to go.
Oh, hang on. The steward is on, trying to remove this fielder. The prize-winning fielder is controversy.
I'm not sure the steward is aware of the fact that this man is allowed to field.
No, well, they're having this conversation, and this is not under-stewarded. This contest, I noticed.
No, there are a few knocking about, aren't there?
They're usually very good rugby tacklers up here. If they go approach it headingly, they're furious rugby league players, I think. The stewards.
There'll be a bit of that. James in. Oh, a dagger's hit it low and flat, unfortunately, out to Charlotte Edwards at deep extra cover. So he'll only get a single, and have we therefore got 2 balls? We do. Two
he looks
balls
to be playing for a not-out to me, Dagnall. I mean, he didn't give that.
He went about that
sing,
many
did
of them when he was playing. In his playing career, as we call it. James is in again, and that's been hoiked out to a deep mid-wicket as Blowers goes past. Has anyone commented on the depth of the red of Blowers' trousers today?
I've not heard anything. It's
no.
very red and yellow today, isn't it?
It's very red, it's very yellow.
But it's his trousers nowadays are so extreme we don't really bother to comment on them.
Last ball, Daggers is going to hit his high in the air. It's Charlotte Edwards underneath it. She's caught one. Oh, yes. A tremendous catch on Charlotte Edwards. She may have dropped that all-important one in the 2014 Test match against India. But she's caught this one. And in many ways, that will give her greater pleasure. As this is televised. 140 all out. Daggers goes. Caught Edwards. Bowled by Greg James for a plucky 33. 140, exactly 7 and over. Tanny, where's if you had money on this, and I don't think there should be any.
Where is the tent?
I don't think I'd risk any money on this.
But where would it be if there were any?
I'm going to go with Aga's team, actually.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I'm going to be brave.
Chasing is tough, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
In this cauldron-like atmosphere with the pressure. Because there's a lot of pressure on them today.
The crowd,
I mean, guys like Michael Vaughan have probably never experienced a crowd as large as this.
They probably haven't. The crowd's getting a bit feisty, though, isn't it?
Oh,
yeah. When they tried to get that poor chap off, there was a big boo from the crowd.
It's getting a little bit like the Holly stand was the other day in Edgbaston, isn't it? We'll need to keep an eye on that.
I've got a funny feeling it's going to be the last over thing.
Do you think so?
I do. I just there's something in my bones.
Mystic marks. Yes.
I think you'll find it's going to be the last over for you.
Well, we'll see about that. We shall see. The restart will be at 6:15. In the meantime, here is the batting card, and it all started so fantastically well for Team Vaughan when Graeme Swann was out to the first ball of the match. I thought he'd be caught at mid-off. I didn't expect him to flat back a long hop straight to Ed Smith at mid-off off the bowling of Yohan Blake for that duck. Dom Joly came and went for an attractive 7, including a magnificent 6. Only 1 run off the other 10 balls. He's caught by Simon Mann off the bowling of Charlotte Edwards. Charles Dagnall was the last to go, out for 33. Harry Judd also had to retire because he got to 33. Batsman retiring after 30. 21 balls for Daggers' 33. 25 for Harry Judd's 33. Ebony Rainford-Brent was stumped in comical fashion off the bowling of Simon Mann for 10 from 9 balls. She also crunched a beautiful boundary. Phil Tufnell, he eschewed the 2 in favour of the very, very long single in his lengthy 16-ball stay of 14 before he was bowled by Ed Smith, possibly the first man in the history of cricket so to be. Simon Hughes, well, the less said about his 1 from 8 balls, the better before his LBW of the bowling of Fazeer Mohammed. Laura Wright, who was at the crease for longer than anyone but Dagnall and Judd, batted splendidly under the tutelage of Daniel Norcross for 13 from 20 balls, bowled by Lydia Greenway, no disgrace in that.
My dear old thing, well, it's wonderful, isn't it? Ed Smith and Lottie Edwards have gone out there. Almost impossible to tell them apart. But there we are. And Vaughan, how very good to see you. Now, you're behind the stumps. What about that?
Well, what do you think? You were the master behind the sticks.
I thought you got a vibrant 6 out of 10, I thought.
Well, all I can say is that Marcel's batting number 3 tells me that his batting's a lot better than his bowling.
Well, we still don't know quite what we're going to get, do we? But it was, and we've also been joined by Andrew Lawson now, who is a former cricketer from South Africa, who's the head coach here at the Leeds Bradford MCC, the Marylebone Cricket Club University, and they help to develop players. And Andrew, very good to have you here. And in between, in the over, I'm just seeing who's bowling the first over. It's Adam Garcia bowling the first over. My goodness me!
Always quick. I've seen him in the nets blowers.
Is he?
Yeah, he sends them down with
Slippery.
plenty on it.
Well, we'll get Andrew's comments on him in a moment. He's going to bowl to Charlotte Edwards to start with, and Adam Garcia it is from the pavilion end. My goodness me, he's got a rather hesitant stride. He's there now. Turned delicately around the corner. Ed Smith responds as you would expect a Test match special commentator to respond to a call of a quick single first ball. And Charlotte Edwards is underway. And that was a pretty good stroke, I thought, Andrew.
Yeah, Bosie, it's solid. Nice
Solid.
tickle around the corner.
Well, absolutely, wasn't it? I mean, you've got to pick up the ones, those ones when you can.
Well, Charlotte's off the mark.
The bread and butter ones. And what a wonderful player she is, Charlotte. And we're talking about her as though she's a novice. She's absolutely brilliant. And it's now Ed Smith. He's under a bit of pressure. Goodness me, Swanee was the last TMS man. Will to be out first ball. OD driven into the covers now. It wasn't along the ground. That was an elegant stroke. He hit that rather, as he commentated. It was as verbally fluent as his commentary, that shot. It really was. And a cameraman walks past me looking slightly disconsolate, pursued by another man walking a bit quicker. And here comes Adam Garcia again, a short, and that's pulled away. And we saw the way the Darrow led rolled his wrist to keep it into the ground. So that would have.
That's smart from Adam Garcia, because the wind's blowing across the ground, so he's bowling short to get Ed to hit to the long side. Who's at first slip? Who's in there?
Tuffers, isn't it?
It can't be.
I think it's Tuffers. Oh, the cat. There he is.
He's about Simon Hughes.
Simon Hughes.
It's Swanee, of course. It's Swanee.
And there's a nice, easy push stroke there by Charlotte into the onside. It's always, I love watching the on drive. It's the most beautiful stroke. Played well. And Adam Garcia, looking as though he's been doing it all his life. And here he is again. Goodness me, he's there. Oh, it's a full banger. And steered that away, Charlotte, very skillfully there between...
There, I've spotted him. I've spotted Tufnell. He's at backward point.
Oh, tough as he is, the cat, isn't he? Yes, he's got that inimitable stride of his. We can't, yes. Oh, dear. 3 for no wicket score. Charlotte Edwards got 2, and it's Ed in strike. Here's Adam Garcia, my goodness. Oh, it's another bounce. That Woolly Watt didn't get up very far, but he played it off the back foot handsomely into the covers. Beautifully fielded. And now tell us all about your coaching here, Andrew.
Blowers, it's about bringing young lads who come to university who are wanting to pursue a career in cricket. That's the level of it. It's 19 to 23-year-old guys who come to university, and hopefully by the time they leave, they'll be able to get a contract.
Well, we're going to come back, so I'm sure that many first-class cricketers come home, but my goodness me, I've just been delivered the cake of the century. At the University of Leeds, from the University of Leeds, it says in icing, happy 60th birthday for Test Match Special. There's a chap here who looks a bit like Dickie Bird, a mixture of Dickie Bird and John Holder, and there are 2 or 3 players there. Vic Marks, this chap looks a bit like Vic Marks. He's got a tummy that makes me think a little bit of Victor. That could be Michael Vaughan, and this chap I'm not sure about altogether. Henry Moran, I think, our assistant producer. And we've got a marvellous pavilion they've come out of with a clock tower and everything. Oh, it's absolutely amazing. And now we must go back to the cricket front. Don't take it away. Do leave it. We'd love to. Who's bowling now, for goodness sake? And I thought Charlie Daggers. Goodness me, he's absolutely. And there he is. And it was cut down to third man by Charlotte. I think a little bit of edge there, but it was good stroke. And 4 for no wicket, and Charlotte goes to 3. And Ed Smith, Test match special v Test match special. Vaughan in now, what about this one?
Well, there's a bit of pressure on Charlie, isn't there? He went for 11 rhubarbs. He batted quite nicely.
I love rhubarb. Do you like rhubarb full?
A lovely rhubarb custard and crumble just before play.
Rhubarb crumble, I say. Oh my goodness, he tried to turn it around the corner. There was an appeal. I think I detected Swanny's voice in that shout. Daggers is looking a bit predatory. And he's walking back slightly apprehensively, Daggers, though he's about to visit a dentist and he doesn't really want to. if you know the feeling. 4 for no wicket. I hate dentists, don't you? Vaughan rather likes him. He's got the most immaculate white teeth. I've never seen anything like it.
I don't think they mind.
He looks like an advertisement for toothpaste. And Daggers again, and Ed Smith drives, and he's going to get a single there on the leg side. I say, just the one.
Well, you won't be surprised to hear that the coach, Geoffrey Boycott, said to this pair as they went out, just give yourself a bit of time. And they look like they are doing.
Do you think it was Sonny Gavaskar played through a 60-over match for 23 or something, wasn't it? Do you remember at Lord's? But I'm sure that Boyk had his equivalent. No, we can't see. There are two ladies. I think she's a television lady. She's absolutely in our way. Yeah, she's in our way. Oh, goodness me. And she's very embarrassed too, and she has every right to be. And his Daggers licking his finger. He's a great predator, Daggers. Here he is, all 6'2" of him, whatever there is, and he bowls. And Charlotte was played that pretty well, didn't she? Daggers looks at her as if say you had no business getting all bat.
No, it's a no ball. It's a no ball.
No
Free hit.
ball. Freers.
What's this for then?
A Freers.
What's a no ball for? Maybe it's...
I think there's a bit of gossip going on out there. Anyone think the Australians are playing?
It's been done for throwing.
Daggers has been done for throwing. Can't get much better than that, can it?
Surely you've got to send him off. You can't do that.
Absolutely. Left arm under. What's he doing now? He's going. I thought he was going off. He's going back to pick up the ball. I thought he was running off in high dudgeon. Now, Daggers, throw this one underarm. Then you won't be worried about the kink in your arm. He's not really a very kinky chap, is he? Oh, beautifully played by Charlotte. She drew away, made room for herself, and just ran that third man. She's been doing it all her life, but she does it so well, doesn't she? And 7 now for no wicket. And Charlotte's got 4. Ed's got a couple.
Oh, I think the boundaries have got to come here, Henry, don't you?
Yes, I do. And this, of course, was when Charlie Dagnall arrived, didn't he, after Swanee made his brief appearance before most people got here, which was a great relief for them. Oh, dear. Oh, there we go. Ed didn't really get hold of that, did he? But it's fielded down there, long on. And I say, that was absolutely brilliant. That was Naga Munchetty. We were talking a bit earlier, and she's worried about getting on our pads. And I've said to her, well, it's very much sod's law. If you don't get them on, you'll be in. And if you do get them on, you won't. But she didn't. I think she took a glass with her, and she's out there now. And looking in tremendous form. And it's Daggers again. Oh, just the single to Ed. Fielded well in the covers. Goodness me, it's coming on. 10 now for no wicket. 5 to Ed, 4 to Lottie. And goodness me.
Flowers, what about the catch in the crowd earlier?
Oh,
the fella who got rid of his pint, didn't he? And lobbed his. I think it was his right hand. He took the reverse, his one-handed catch.
If there had been a champagne moment, that was the champagne moment for me.
Yeah, he's got another pint. I can see him. That's it. I bet he gets into double figures.
Very good stuff. And I remember Arthur Maley once saying when New South Wales scored Victoria scored 1108 against New South Wales, the same gentleman caught a 6 in the crowd 3 times during the innings in the outer. Garcia, it is Adam. I say that one's gone many a mile. And Ed hit that for 6, or did that bounce just a bit before?
It's the one bounce.
It's one bounce, 4 runs. But Ed, didn't he time that beautifully? That was a scholarly stroke. That was what you might call Tunbridge and Cambridge personified, wasn't it? Brilliant stuff. 9 now to Ed Smith. And here is Adam Garcia. Oh, it's a full banger. And they get just the one, and well fielded, well thrown too. That was a lovely throw.
I tell you what, boys, Harry Judd looks the part, doesn't he? He batted nice. Look at him behind the sticks.
I know, he's old Juppers. Yes, I mean, with his sleight of hand and trying to persuade people he's what he isn't, which of course why he came into cricket. He could well have played for England, I thought, on that basis. Garcia again.
Oh!
And no, get back. Oh, Domers, he's done awfully well, hasn't he? Done awfully well. It's very good to have him out there. The ground needs a bit of heavy rolling.
Yes, it does. It was a bit of an exhibition of just get something behind it.
That's one more to Lottie, well fielded. And Jamie Laing, the fielder there. I say there he is. Look at him. He's looking the part, isn't he? Goodness, $1 million. Someone in a Dagnall jacket and a cricket bat walks across in front of me. Adam Garcia comes into bowl, and oh, I say that wasn't really such a good one, was it? It was anyway up the inner half of the bat, out on the leg side, 1 run. Oh dear. And Ed goes on to 12, and it's now, well, has he gone to 11? The scoreboard got there ahead of me, and into 18 for knowing. Of course, he's got there ahead of me because Andrew Sampson is operating it, the great scoreboard operator. As opposed to the smooth operator. He's that too. And, oh, it's up in the air. Is anyone underneath that? No, it fell into the gap, I think. I've got a great wooden pole in front of me, so I couldn't really see that. Vaughn, will you tell me where that fell?
Yes, it was just a little bit of a mistimed pull from Charlotte. It was perfectly placed. Simon Hughes is he's not the quickest.
Andrew, if you were using this as a basis on which to coach anyone, I think you would rather wish you hadn't seen it, wouldn't you?
Yeah, listen, it's yeah, we could do with a little bit of energy.
But don't you think it's good, though, that the effect of this, the popularity of cricket, it's good the way it's brought everyone in?
Oh, absolutely brilliant. I mean, to see the ground, with so many people around it watching, yeah, to be able to bring people to Leeds University, to this ground, yeah, beautiful day.
It could be a first-class ground, this almost, couldn't it? I mean, you know, I mean, it's that good.
It does. It's not got first-class stages, but we do play county games here. Yorkshire Academy play out of here as well, and practice and use the facility as well. So it's yeah, it gets a lot of cricket played throughout the year.
Daggers being played, Charlotte playing daggers like with a stick of celery there, carving him away into the offside for a single behind square. And but I mean, in fact, the message that this today's game gives you, you can take back to everyone who comes here, can't you? I mean, but this is what cricket's all about.
Yeah, hopefully with people seeing it or coming down and watching and seeing what the facilities that we've got here, whether you... Oh, it's a good shot down the ground.
Ed Smith hitting through the line there, hitting up on the up, wasn't he? Beautiful stroke.
Well, this is now starting to get the perfect foundation for the likes of Marcel to come in at 3 and just really capitalise on this start.
A lady in a lovely orange and black striped dress walks in front of me, I say. Oh, my goodness me, I nearly fell off my chair. And it's daggers again, hopping up to the wicket. Oh, and there it goes. It's in the air. It could be, oh, no. 4 more. It's just too difficult for the man at wide long off. Was it the... It was Laura Wright, the girl, the lady. I'm sorry, Laura. I got it wrong. No, I'm awfully sorry. Dear, oh, dear, oh, dear. I'm an elderly fuddy-duddy. There's nothing you can do about it. I've got the microphone in my hand. You haven't. Bad luck. It's 28 for no wicket. And Ed Smith is in strike. And Daggers is mincing in. Oh, and there it goes, a beautiful stroke. That first bound for 4, that was the stroke of the day. A brilliant stroke by Ed Smith, that. Really magnificent. That was true Test match special. Brilliant stroke. 23 to Ed now, and it's 32 for no wicket. Charlotte's got 7 at the other end. Great stroke that, wasn't it, Bonnie?
Well, the slips come out, no surprise. Graeme Swann's gone to short extra cover.
Oh, Swanee, sure. I hope he doesn't get hit.
They could be in danger.
He and I are doing a stage show. Oh, and that's gone over the top. I think, yes, it has. It's going away. It's not going for a good sliding stop, which has got someone a dry cleaner's bill, and they don't come back from the second. Very well fielded. Tremendous stuff. 24 to Ed. And it is, what is it, 33 for no wicket. And Jamie Laing was the fielder there. Great stuff. And, oh, that's beautifully cut away, isn't it? But well fielded straight to the fielder at quite severely backward point. And it's the end of the over. 33 for no wicket. Andrew, anything you would like to add, your thoughts of this? You know, has it... I mean, I hope you've really enjoyed this.
Isn't it? Players has been absolutely brilliant to be able to see everyone come down and watch the cricket. Hopefully it's been a good example of what Leeds has got to offer. So, yeah, hopefully everyone's enjoyed it. And, yeah, the cricket's been top draw.
Well, thanks for having us.
Pleasure.
And we've got a bowling change, haven't we, now?
Who's going on here? I think it's Ebony.
Ebbers, my dear Ebbers is coming on. How absolutely splendid. And... oh, Graeme, my dear Greg James has come to join us. How absolutely splendid. Henry Moran was trying to point out that I thought you were batting, then I thought you were bowling, then I thought you were keeping wicket. Here's Ebbers. Oh, that's
beautiful.
It's a punishment. Here it is. It's gone for 6. My dear old thing.
Well, he's retired now. That's Ed on 30.
Ed's gone. Give Ed Smith a tremendous round of applause.
I'm not in yet.
Michael Vaughan is in, but he's only just getting up from the commentary point, so he's going to be timed out. Now, Greg, are you enjoying today?
I'm having the most glorious day ever, Blowers. It's so much fun.
Listening to all the balls we're talking about.
Well, the great thing is when we were fielding and bowling, we could hear the commentary as well. So it was like we were also watching the whole thing. And I got distracted by your commentary, and I dropped a catch because I was on the phone to Radio 1 talking about on my show.
Weren't you?
So I was doing a thing into my own show whilst at slip.
Have you ever dropped a catch on air before?
I've never dropped a catch on air before.
You haven't?
That is a radio first.
That really is. I wonder if anyone ever has. They couldn't have done.
And it made it even more special that Alistair Cook was commentating.
Well, yeah, wasn't I? Do you know, I saw something I'd never seen the other day. I saw 6-leg buys.
6-leg buys?
Yeah, what about that?
Yeah.
A ball bounced from nowhere and hit someone high up the body. It wasn't a big boundary. It wasn't a particularly small one. Carried.
But it's been a brilliant day, hasn't it?
Hasn't it? And it's Ebbers again now. Ebbers bowling now. She's up to the wicket. And that's pummeled into the ground. And Michael Vaughan it is. My M. Vaughan, he's gone straight from the commentary box to the middle. I don't think that's ever happened before.
I thought he was going to go 4 because 4's traditionally worked quite well for him in the past.
And but Ebbers to Vaughaners. Oh my goodness, he drive 4 runs. Oh, Vaughan, that was brilliant. It's coming straight towards me. Oh, it's just bunk into the thing just down there. And Ed Smith, well played, Ed. Tremendous. You upheld the honour of Test Match Special in a way I would never have believed. It was wonderful.
Well, Henry, thank you. And I can honestly say that hearing your voice when I was batting, which I've never experienced before, inspired new heights. And I can only imagine if I'd had that experience when I was actually a proper player, it would have been so much better for me.
Do you mean to say you
if I'd had piped Henry Blofeld in my ears...
83 Test matches, Smith.
I think maybe 4.
84, sorry.
4.
Oh, it's Ebbers round the wicket, bowling now, and Vaughan just pushing that back, well fielded by Ebbers. And, well, great fun. Was it fun out there?
It was. I was plinking it around a little bit. I was a bit embarrassed to take so long to get it off the square, but I was glad to eventually.
Ebbers again, round the morning. He drives beautifully, 4 runs. That was lovely, wasn't it? Ebbers might have been McGrath, but she wasn't. She was Ebbers. And it's 4 more to Michael Vaughan. And what about now? Tell us about daggers. I mean, was he bowling tripe?
Well, there's a lot of pressure on him. It's a bit like, you know, when a top player goes to the IPL for sort of $1 million plus. And I think the 11 rhubarb tag has weighed heavily on him, and that's
gone to his head.
Maybe what's led him to bowl with the bent arm and get no ball for throwing.
Oh dear, that's uppish, but there's no one there, just going out just for the single. Vaughan getting another one. So Vaughan and Charlotte are doing tremendously well. It's 48 for 1 in spite of the scoreboard. Oh no, I suppose as you retired, it is 48 for no wicket, isn't it? Yes, that's right. And
how was it playing out there, Ed?
The pitch, it's I think the word that the pitch report at half-time was that genuine pace might be difficult, but there was also a feeling that might not be forthcoming today.
I don't know. My bruised hand would suggest otherwise. When you ran in off that quite long run with your first ball, and I was keeping it, I caught it right in the palm, and it's really throbbing.
Did you drop the catch off, Ed, when you were telephoning?
No, it was off Simon Mann.
It was off Simon Mann.
Yeah. But then I did.
Grumps, did he say anything to you?
Well, no, because I got back into his good books by doing a stumping the next over.
Oh, well, there you are, yes. Yes, that's right. It was bad to be in Grumpy's bad books. I did that once in Bulawayo when I prevented him commentating in his first ever test match by staying on the air for an hour and a half myself. It was awful. And they're both here. Peter Baxter was with me, was also commentating, and he was there, but he's smiling at me now. He's wearing rather a fetching pink jacket in the back of our box. Simon Hughes is bowling. Goodness me, here he is. 8 up to the wicket. 8. Oh, my goodness me. Did the ball explode? I think it most extraordinary. Simon Hughes is wearing his swimming hat, isn't he? But I don't know what happened to that.
I think it may well have been a joke ball.
Do you think? I think it must have been, mustn't it? Yes, it is. Vaughan and he have high-fived. I saw last year Simon Hughes' daughter playing for the Middlesex under-15s, and she runs in and looks exactly like Simon Hughes. I mean, from the neck downwards, and her action was great.
From the neck downwards?
From the neck downwards, yes. Did I say upwards?
No. It's just an amazing image. I'm just trying to create it in my head.
And here is Simon again, and that's beautifully played there, isn't it, away on the leg side, just for the single. There's a bit of misfielding. A comeback for the second. It's Naga down there who has a little bit of trouble collecting that one, but there we are. 50 for no wicket. 5 overs and 1 ball have gone by, it says. And easily played there into the covers.
It was quite funny watching Phil Tufnell bat with Harry Judd earlier, because he was telling Harry not to do quick singles.
And Simon again. He's on the spot, but that was a nice-looking stroke for the single. Michael Vaughan pushing it out wide of backward point for 1. 50 is up. 50 has been on our scoreboard for a while, but it's 51 up. 51 for no wicket. And Simon Hughes again. And that's hit. Oh my goodness me, that's Charlotte playing that one beautifully. They got a buzzer, I think, haven't they? They got several buzzers. And that was extraordinary. What happened there?
Well, I feel like there was an overthrow.
Yes.
It was not a bad stop, and then it got a bit over the top, and then there was no one backing up, which is.
I think that was what happened. Yes.
You know, that's the first rule in the school cricket book.
Charlotte was playing a nice square drive then, just the single, fielded at deep backward point, and Charlotte was really opening her shoulders now. She's now 11. It's 54 for no wicket, and 6 overs have gone by. And this is exciting stuff. 141 is the target. That's what Tuffers' side achieved. And now I'm going to hand you over to Greg and Ed, and I'm going to hand me over, as it were, to Dan Norcross. My dear old things.
It's been an extraordinary day, though, isn't it?
Oops.
Have you done anything today that you haven't done before, Ed?
The thing I'll take with me is I've shared an athletic stage with Yohan Blake, which probably, in terms of the genetic lottery, was not on the cards. I think in terms of fast twitch muscle fibre, I was destined to be maybe a librarian. And there was me and Yohan, and then that wonderful first ball, which he bowled so quickly, and I managed to hang on to it mid-off.
First delivery of the 7th over is driven with some power and menace by Charlotte Edwards, up to long off for a single. She moves to 11.
55 without loss. I'm delighted to see that Team Boycott have got into the spirit of this game by packing the top of their order with the very best players on show today. Next ball is beautifully tabbed down towards third man for a single by the former England captain.
I think
with
the
a test
thing is,
average of 47.
I think the thing is, though, that the crowd would love to see Michael Vaughan back. You know, they don't necessarily want to see me or Andy Parsons back, do they? Want to see Michael Vaughan?
No, they want to
box
see
office.
Andy Parsons back. They really do want to see Andy Parsons back, I can assure you of that. Well, they want to see... Yes. Is Lydia Greenway going to go in next?
I think so.
I'm not surprised. Ebony bowls again and is driven again by Charlotte Edwards. She's scoring her first runs of the season. She's as captain of the Southern Vipers, the Vipers they're called. She has to bat at 5 or 6. And unfortunately, she's just not been getting in the entire time. And then when she did get in, she got a first baller against Surrey. That's been walloped out. Oh, into the crowd, just in front of the crowd, maybe. I wait to see the umpire signal. Ebbs can't believe this. What are you doing out there? What are you doing, mate? Oi, Joly, what is happening? Innit, this is right bang out of order. Ebony is remonstrating now with furious rage. She bowled that full toss quite deliberately on the pads of Vaughan and was expecting it to be caught by whoever. Is it Dom Joly out there? Next delivery is driven up to long on for another single. 62 without loss. The target is homing into view with alarming speed. Greg, when are you due in?
I'm due in at 5. But Michael Vaughan said he was due at 4, so I think it may have changed a little bit. I think he put himself up the order just to accelerate things.
You're not got any pads on.
No pads yet, but maybe I should go and get my pads
but
on.
Lydia's due in next on that. That's a hideous ball from Ebony. And has been swept by Charlotte Edwards down to deep backward square leg. They played against each other a lot. Oh, they're coming through for a second. This could be tight because Charlotte's not the quickest of runners. And is that not going to be given out?
Dom Joly can't believe it.
Well, I can't believe it either. I would have thought Titch would have given that. And Ebbs is convinced that he must do. She's having a word, I think. Now, this could be interesting because we can have a look on the replay. We can see what Titch can't. And that is out. That bat's in the air. That's entirely out. He's got to give it. Has he given it? Now, we have just seen a replay of a bullet throw that came in off 5 or 6 bounces from Dom Joly down at deep backward square. It's come up on the big screen. Charlotte Edwards' bat was way in the air. She's never been the most nimble between the wickets, it has to be said. Are we losing you, Ed?
You might have to lose me as well. I've got to get my pads on.
We're having a strategic timeout, they call it in the IPL, we'll be discussing plans from there on. Yeah.
Right. Well, it looks like Greg James is going to have to get his pads on.
I better go.
Yeah, just very briefly, can I ask you, while you were out there, were you calling into your show?
Yes, so I was doing a live two-way with my show back on Radio 1, and then that was the moment that Dom Joly spooned one to slip, and I was there and shelled it.
Did you shell it? Oh, yes, you did. Of course you did. Yeah, of course you did, yeah. Mind you, it was a sharp chance, Greg.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. But I feel like that thing will probably never be forgotten.
Well, I won't ever forget it.
No, I'm happy to be known as the idiot who dropped the catch whilst on the phone.
Yeah. It's rarely seen. Rarely seen. Well, we have confirmation that Charlotte Edwards is run out, but basically by not sliding her bat in. You'd think a woman who'd played international cricket for 21 years would have not made such a schoolgirl error. As Isha Guha joins us. Marcel has joined us. Now then, I've got information about Marcel Somerville. He was on Love Island, and he had a tremendous run. He came 4th in Love Island. And he's a giver of advice, love tips. Simon Hughes has just been smashed, oh my word, into the trees by Michael Vaughan. He's wearing a huge beaming grin on his face. 24 he moves to, 69 for 1. What a shot that was. That went absolutely miles. That's the first one that's gone into the trees. Hello, Isha.
That's his response to the fake ball, isn't it?
Oh, the fake ball. Well, Simon Hughes did something similar. He told me he played in a game against David Smith. He used to play for Surrey and Worcestershire. And he played a game against Worcestershire. And he'd bet in the night before in the pub that he wouldn't be able to hit the first ball the next day. He promised he wouldn't bowl a wide. And he arrived with a ball. There was 2 balls sawn in half that he'd put together. And, very, very limply. I think that's... Wouldn't that be a no ball? Hughes has decided he's going to try and bowl Simon Hughes at from 8 paces at this point. But even then, he's failed to get it on target. And then this ball split apart. So poor old David Smith was trying to hit 2 parts of a ball and had to hand over 20 quid. Next ball is worked into the onside. Oh, through the hands at mid-wicket. Oh, and through the feet of Naga Munchetty for 4. Well, this is not magnificent from Simon Hughes. None for 16 from 8 balls.
I think James Taylor's enjoying Michael Vaughan's bat. He's absolutely pinging off it.
It's a gorgeous bat, isn't it? He's moved to 28, so he's going to try and hit 6 off this, presumably. That's the tactic, isn't it, Ed? Once you get within sight of your 30.
Can't say it was one I achieved in that case.
No, you didn't, but I mean, that you would have talked about this. Boycott would have mentioned this. And he's hit that, I think, for 6. He has! Good grief. So Michael Vaughan's going to have to walk off. The second man to retire in this innings, the 34 from 15 balls. 79 for 1, 62 required for 75. This is all going very swimmingly for your team.
Well, it's an example, really, of strategy and discipline. I think the hard work in the nets in the lead-up to the match, and also the fact that we were here early, laying out cones, fielding practices, all those sorts of things. And, you know, things that look easy, like Michael there, made it look easy, but that's just the fruit of decades of hard yards.
Isha, you must presumably agree. I saw you go through a very elaborate warm-up routine.
What, walking around the outfield?
That's enough for me.
Okay,
that's seriously.
I have to say that innings from Vaughan, that was a Vaughan classic on display, and that last shot as well, off the back foot, that pick up over mid-wicket, always good to watch.
Well, look, now we're into the serious meat of your team's innings because Yohan Blake has come to the crease. Yohan Blake has come to the crease, not Greg James. They're messing around. You're messing around with the batting order, aren't you? You're absolutely determined to win this game in as few overs as possible, from what I can gather. I've never seen Yohan bat. Saw him bowl. He looked a little nippy to me. 62 from 75. Fielders, keepers standing up. Harry Judd. And Blake, defends beautifully. The first delivery of the offside. Oh, there's a chance. I say there's a chance of run out. What am I talking about? Simon Hughes was ambling slowly towards the ball and failed to throw it at the stumps.
There was a moment on the boundary in the first innings, and I was equidistant to the ball.
Get you.
With Yohan Blake.
Oh, yeah. Who got there first?
Well, I did, but only because he didn't move.
The next ball has been hit high in the air, down through third man. Brilliantly fielded. Is that Laura Wright? Who was that? That was Laura Wright with her feet. With a left foot, a piece of samba cricket. That was extraordinary. She flicked it up with her left foot. I say that, I might be massively exaggerating, but it felt like that. Flicked up with the left foot into the left hand and then thrown in. That's brilliant, absolutely. That is a champagne moment of today as the next ball is swung at and missed by Blake. No run. End of the over. 80 for 1 at the score. 61 to win from 72. Have you ever seen fielding like that before?
Well, I think it's one of those innovations that's going to come into the game. I think we've seen in T20 the dive from one fielder spooning it back to the fielder still in bounds. And I think what Laura Wright just showed there, the ability just to kick it up with one foot and then throw the stumps down with one hand in one movement, like a sliding tackle. Paul Parker, the slide in cricket, got many run-outs that first season at Sussex. I think we're seeing the game evolving right here.
Do you think it's something that maybe Dennis Compton should have done more of when he was playing for Arsenal and England?
It may have been limited by the knee injury later on.
I guess. But, I mean, you know, other footballing cricketers we've never seen. Graeme Swann is into the attack. His contribution to the game so far has been to get a duck off the first ball. Oh, and he's got a wicket, has he, first ball? Well, I think he has. He has. What a shot. What a shot to play to your first ball off Graeme Swann. Yohan Blake has gone. He can't believe it. He's furious with himself. It was full. It was flat. It was there to be walloped over deep extra cover. And I'm afraid Yohan has been deceived by the flatter, quicker one.
He's got his own back, hasn't he, Graeme Swann?
Well, so far.
Getting out to Yohan Blake, first ball of the first innings.
I need to check with Andrew. How many times has a player in Test cricket been out first ball and taken a wicket with their first ball?
17.
17, yes. You can't verify
No,
that.
it can't be that many. Can't be that many.
It's
It's probably
like
only about.
17.
It's only about 5.
2 or 3, I reckon.
I can't think of any offhand.
No.
It's certainly the first time in a TMS anniversary game.
Lydia Greenway is marching out to the crease, and she is going to join Marcel Somerville. I do have information on Marcel Somerville. My wife made copious notes for me on all the people that weren't involved in cricket. She did this for me on the train on the way up. It's magnificent. You keep talking while I find it. No. Look, it's here somewhere. There's Greg James. There's Marcel Somerville.
What did she write about Greg James?
What's she write about? Go, read it out, Ed. Let's see. This is Greg James, but you'll need to use a microphone to make it work.
DJ radio presenter, hosts not just cricket on 5 Live, weekly podcasts including cheese ball game, throwing baby bells into a court, play cricket for Hertfordshire under-18s, deputy head boy, Bishop Stortford
Deputy
High
head
School.
boy. See,
Early career presented breakfast show on Future Radio in Norwich.
See, that's the key deputy head boy. As Lydia Greenway faces her first ball from Graeme Swann. Bowled again! Oh, yes, he's got 2 in 2. So far, there hasn't been a single delivery that Graeme Swann has been involved in that hasn't resulted in a wicket. Andrew Sampson, how many times has a man been out first ball in any form of cricket that you've got on your database and then taken a wicket with his first 2 balls?
Can't find any.
You can't find any. This could be a record. This could be a world record. What an extraordinary day Graeme Swann's having. Is this the same Graeme Swann? Did you ever watch Quantum Leap with Scott Bakula? I just wonder if his body was briefly invaded by Scott Bakula at the beginning of the match, and we've been given the real Graeme Swann back. What do you think?
Can I just chip in about something that's not exactly connected to that, Dan? I'm very concerned about Jeffrey at this point, because Jeffrey's mantra, as you know, is you put 2 wickets on something, the whole complexion of the game changes.
5.
And he will have been drumming that into everyone in that dressing room. Don't lose 2 quick wickets, and now there's a hat-trick ball. So I just, you know, maybe that's a case of a coach putting anxiety into a team that maybe might not have been there otherwise. Maybe that's something we'll look at in the debrief.
Well, this is an extraordinary moment in the game, because Greg James, big friend of Graeme Swann's, they're like that. You can't see what I'm doing, but I'm putting one finger over the other. And Greg James, Radio 1 DJ and deputy head boy. I think that's part of the secret of his success. He's always been striving after that.
Or maybe happy to play down status and to slip in beside someone's slipstream. I know on the whiteboard in our dressing room there is a very big .1 is no hat-tricks against us.
Really?
So whether or not... You know, this is, you say, is a turning point.
Hat-trick ball, Swanee in to Greg James. How he'd love... Oh, he's left it. Big appeal for a stumping. And this could be tight, you know. Well, I say it could be tight. His foot didn't move at any moment, but I thought that just possibly for the occasion and the moment, umpire might just have triggered him.
It was an enthusiastic appeal from Phil Tufnell behind the stumps.
No turn at all there. As I'm joined by Yohan Blake, I'm delighted to say. After that tremendous effort with the bat. Was it 1 in the end? Did you get 1? Was it 1? Yohan got 1. Next delivery is driven rather elegantly, but straight to Jamie Laing in the covers. There's no run. Yohan, I asked that with a certain degree of trepidation. You look disappointed, but to get out to England's greatest ever off spinner. Next delivery is defended off the front foot beautifully, back up the wicket, no run. I mean, it's like getting out to, I don't know, Matthias Muralitharan or something, isn't it?
Well, it's my dream to always play with Swanee, and I got the dream, and I want to go over there.
Oh, and it's got a moon ball, which has been driven into the offside. Laing fields, they think of a single, it isn't there. Is that a double wicket maiden? It's a double wicket maiden.
Double wicket maiden. Beats his first over in Test cricket. He took 2 for 7 in his first over in Test cricket.
Was he out first ball?
No.
That's a great shame. What a thrilling turnaround, this game. 80 for 3 off 9 overs, 61 more to win. Yohan, thank you ever so much for joining us. You're bowling this morning. What, this morning? It was 4 o'clock, it's 4:30. We've been here forever, it feels like. You came in off that Michael Holding-esque run. You'd have been a bit disappointed that you didn't get a few more wickets, wouldn't you? Although, getting Swanee with the first ball of the match, is that a high point in your career?
It was really good. One of England's greatest spin bowler, and I'm happy. You know, it's very nice.
Phil Tufnell is going to start in. Phil Tufnell, the captain of this side. He's going to come in off it. He's reduced his run-up. He was a bit too long in his old days. Just 2 paces now. And he beats Marcel Somerville with an absolute beauty that's turned past the outside edge. Sorry, Yohan. Actually, it's going to be quite tricky while Tuffers is bowling, because he does get through his overs quicker than you'd think for a man of his agility. Oh, he's bowled him! Well, I never. Somerville's gone. This is the third wicket. Third wicket that's gone down in 8 balls, is that right?
That's correct, yeah.
Third in 8. Tuffers and... You know, we never got to see Phil Tufnell and Graeme Swann in action. The Laker and lock that never happened in English cricket. Finally, Isha, this is what it could have looked like if only Tuffers had been 10 years younger.
Well,
or
I saw him bowl a little
older.
bit in practice, and he had it on a string, literally. It was on the same length every single time, and getting that turn, fizz and turn off the wicket, and that's exactly what's happened here again.
He bamboozled Judd, didn't he? He bamboozled him in the nets with a couple that turned viciously. But new batter coming out. It's going to be our colleague Simon Mann. Now, Simon Mann is a fellow who likes to bat for long periods of time and score not very many runs. He's very much from the sort of 1960s school of cricket. He's actually from the 1960s, Simon Mann.
I reckon he's TMS's version of Harrison Ford.
What? Harrison Ford?
I would say something like the Wall. They call him a Dravid.
That's right, yes, exactly. Yes. More like Rahul Dravid than Harrison Ford, I would have thought. But I don't know. He's just going to have to go and get her pads on, I think, because of the flurry of wickets. Yohan, we're going to get back to that wicket of Swanee in a moment, as tough as is in to Simon Mann. Oh! Beats him on the outside edge with a ripper. Oh, I don't think Simon's seen a ball like that before in his life. Certainly not faced one. 61 required from 63 balls, 10.5 overs, around 6 and over. What they need to do, though, here is not take quite so many wickets quite so quickly, because the tactics... the arm ball has... no, they're coming through for a single. They don't want to get him out, whatever they do. Dare I say, Yohan, that the correct tactic here would be for Tuffers' team to try to keep these batsmen at the crease. So last thing they want to have happen is to see Ed Smith come back. Do you think that's fair?
Yeah, it would be fair. He didn't hold. But I would say just over 1 2-runner ball.
Well, it's a runner ball pretty much at the moment. This ball's beautifully clipped away by Greg James out to deep mid-wicket. Jamie Laing will do the fielding. So really, in an ideal world, what they'd be looking to do is to keep these two in and keep them at around 3, 4 and over. Well, get Simon Mann on strike and then have a ring field. Would you say, Vic?
Hello.
Hello, Vic. Well, Vic Marks has rejoined.
Yes, let Simon take strike and block it.
When he's... huge appeal. That was never going to be out. And they shouldn't be trying to get him out. They've got their tactics completely wrong here. They want to keep Mann at the crease. Any fool can tell them this. There's absolutely no tactical acumen at all. End of the 10th over, 83 for 4. Simon Mann has stolen the strike, which will please them. 58 required from 60. And Yohan, I want to talk to you about that first ball of the match, because you've come charging in. You've got Graeme Swann, the great England spinner, a man with a test average with the bat of around 22.
I know Swann can, but I always watch him in the test match. Yep. I know he struck it for England. And for me to get him for the first ball, I was so delighted.
I told you you'd get him at mid-off, though, didn't I?
Yes, you did tell me. What all we got to do is just to consolidate right now and just nudge it around and hope that Michael Vaughan can come back in.
Now, tell me how much this winning this match means to you. I mean, you've been in some lesser events like the Olympics and the World Championships. But, I mean, this is the culmination of, I imagine, 25, 30 years of dreaming, isn't it? You're not 30. As Swann starts a new over, forward in defence, comes Mann, plays the ball back to him, no run. This is going to mean a great deal to you, isn't it?
It is a great deal for me, playing with Swann, Michael Vaughan, and all everybody. It's just wonderful for me.
Mm-hmm. Well, Swanee, who has the extraordinary figures of 2 for none from 7 balls, is now swept. The indignity of being swept by Simon Mann, but no run, a cruise. That's Harry Judd. Really impressed by Harry Judd? I thought he looked like a proper batsman, didn't he?
Yeah, a little bit.
A little bit?
Yeah. No, just joking.
Who else scored the runs for their side? I'm trying to remember now. Charlie Dagnall, of course. Don't want you to be too flattering about Charlie Dagnall, if possible. Graeme Swann's in once more. Oh, there's going to be a huge appeal for LBW. We can't believe he hasn't got that wicket. But I've got to tell you, he doesn't want to get him out. He does not want to get him out if he's got any sense. Simon Mann, 6 balls he's faced now for his 2. Greg James, 5 balls for that 1, so 3 off 11 balls between those 2. They've come right back into this of Team Agnew. Next delivery is down the leg side. Oh, that's going to run away to the boundary for 4. He's furious with himself. Is the Quafford underbitten Swann. And that'll take the total to 87 for 4. 54 required.
Much needed runs, much needed runs.
Are you breathing a little bit easier now?
Definitely.
Now, you spent a lot of time in your career running with Usain Bolt, who has, of course, stopped. That's it. It's the end of Usain Bolt. Can you tell us, is he the extraordinarily charming and thoroughly wonderful man that he appears? Next ball takes a thick edge and runs down to Naga Munchetty. I never thought I'd say that. Third man, and they pick up a single.
Yeah, definitely. He's a wonderful guy. I train with him, I run with him. He's wonderful to be around, the greatest sprinter ever.
And how happy are you that you don't ever have to race against him again? And so you've got a better chance of getting a gold medal. Swann bowls. Oh, that thuds into the bit of inside edge and bat and pad of Greg James. No run.
I'm not happy. I love to run with him. I love competition. I love to go fast.
That's not the end of it. It is the end of the over. Sorry to interrupt. It's the end of the over. Graeme Swann has the figures of 2 for 1 from 2 overs. 88 for 4 after 11. Simon Mann has 3. Greg James has 1. 53 required to win from 54 balls. Pretty much, basically, a run a ball. For Jamaican sprinting, though, you lose Usain Bolt. Who are the young sprinters who are coming in to sort of take his place? As Tuffers bowls another ball, which is top edge swept by Simon Mann. It's going to run away to the boundary, is it? No, it isn't. It's picked up by a very slow-moving Charlie Dagnall, who, yeah, it's a very slow-moving Charlie Dagnall. They pick up 2.
Much needed runs there again. But Jamaica sprinting is coming along. We have some youngsters coming up. I have to go fill that void, and that's what I'm going to do, be the captain and step up.
When are the Olympics? Another 3 years. You're eyeing those Olympics, are you? Can you eye Olympics definitely. 3 years out? Can you do that? Or do you sort of try to not think about them for a couple of years? As Tuffers is in again to Simon Mann. There's a huge and extremely speculatively hopeful, optimistic appeal for LBW, which yields naught but... Oh, well, it's not a leg. Oh, it is a leg by. James Taylor has just remembered that he needs to signal as an umpire. And 91 for 4 the score moves to 50 required off 52. Tuffers in again, 3 or 4 paces. He's got a slip in still. He's driven without an enormous amount of timing by Greg James up to long on. He's keen on running though. Going to be impressed by the speed of this young man, Yohan.
That's not bad.
You are the second fastest man of all time, aren't you? Is that correct? Level with Tyson Gay, is that right? 9.69, or did you just?
My breeze, I run into a minus 0.5.
Ah, yeah, oh right, okay. So you're faster. That is an unusual sweep from Simon Mann. And Daggers again. It's slow motion cricket at the moment, isn't it? Everything's a little bit slow. Tuffers is bowling about 30 miles an hour. Simon Mann is going down so that I can hear his spare hip creaking. And then Daggers, who's operating on half of one knee, has moved gently and gingerly to his left. Next delivery is gloriously driven out to long on, where Ebony does the fielding. Ebony Rainford-Brent throws in right by the stumps and into the over. 95 for 4 from 12 overs. We've got Allison. Allison is with Marcel.
Still one more ball left to go.
Sorry, there's one more ball left to go. I'm so sorry. Tuffers is in again. Outside the off stump. Semi-well stopped, I have to say. End of the over, a dot ball from it. 94 for 4, 47 of 48. Simon has 6, Simon Mann has 6. Greg James has 3. And Alison Mitchell, you are with, I believe, Marcel.
Yep, I've got Marcel with me. I am fully padded out. It's the first time I've done an interview. Marcel in full cricket gear. You're still padded. Have you been in and out?
I love these pads.
Whose pads are they?
I don't know. I found them in the dressing room. I put them on.
I've got Charlotte Edwards kit on at the moment, so I'm hoping it brings me a little bit of luck. Having been out there, what advice can you give to me? Is there a bit of sledging going on? Are they noisy?
Yeah, Jamie's been trying to sledge me, but it doesn't matter because Harry's been really cool. He was giving me tips. However, his tips, he gave them before I lost my wicket, so Maybe they weren't tips.
Do you think he actually double-crossed you?
Double crossing.
OK, well, I'm hoping that Graeme Swann will have bowled out his allocation of overs. In fact, has he done that already before I get out there? So I don't... Oh, he's bowling now, so
He's
yeah.
a good bowler.
He is a good bowler. 2 wickets in an over, 2 and 2 balls. He was on the hat-trick, missed out on the hat-trick.
Tough has got me, though.
Yeah, how's Tougher's bowling looking? How did you find it?
He is one of the greatest, so he done well with it. He done well against me. I can't really compare him.
OK, are we still feeling confident, though? Team Vaughan. The Yorkshire team, Vaughan and Boycott, we can do it, can't
Obviously, Vaughan and Boycott, we can do this.
OK, well, I am due in next, so just in case a wicket falls, I think I'm going to hand back to you, Aggers.
Indeed, thanks very much. 94 for 4 in the 13th over. Simon Mann is actually, he's keeping up his, I think, the scoring rate that we expected, Victor.
But he's also sweeping every ball.
Yes, it is. But this is the key phase for me, with the spinners coming on. That's not a bad shot, mind you. But with the spinners coming on, very dry pitch. I did fancy England's finest. It's Swann and Tufnell to win this game, actually.
Well, obviously, you've been planning this for some time.
Well, yes, indeed, absolutely. There's been my focus all day. There are 2 very slow men in this box and 1 very fast one. I was very impressed with that run-up, Yohan. Crikey, where did that come? That was longer than Michael holding off his pomp, that was an amazing sight.
Thank you. It was planned.
Yeah, what the whole dismissal thing, that long hop that was cunningly hit to mid-off, that was all planned.
No, it was just, I saw it on replay. Yeah. Quicker than he thought. Spliced it, bang.
Well, that's fair enough. I'm sure Michael Holding got the occasional wicket caught mid-off. I'm sure he did. Possibly even Graeme Swann. 95 for 4. It's actually not a bad game of cricket, this. And it is turning a little bit. But I think with these spinners on now, Tufnell's bowled 2, this is Swann's 3rd. It's a question of who comes on after that. Swanee, he's rolled back the years. Oh, that's horrible. That wasn't much of a ball. Last ball of the over. So, well done, Simon. I suspect we'll hear about that over the next few days.
Yes.
He looks quite fired up, actually. He looks very fired up.
He does look very serious.
Yeah. So, Yohan, have you found all this? Have you having a good time? It's a bit of a crazy day.
Very good time. I just want to thank BBC for having me, and it's really wonderful to be in the commentary box. There's something I'm thinking about after my career.
Is it? On cricket?
Always
or anything?
In the commentary box for cricket.
Is it? Oh, fine. In the West Indies? Or anywhere?
Anywhere in England, in Australia. I would love to be here. You know, the Ashes, I would love to do the Ashes.
Right. Well, perhaps we'll challenge you to commentate then, rather than just sit there and say good shot. Do you want to actually do some commentary? Do you want to do the hard work? Do you want to do the real stuff? Or do you want to sit there and say, well, that wasn't a bad shot, or that was a good shot? Do you want to do the real income so-and-so and bowls, like the old Tony Cozier used to do, for instance?
Yes, definitely.
Well, off you go, it's all yours.
You're putting me on the spot.
Oh, you see, but you've got to be on. Oh, Blowers has given us a wave. That looks like we've seen his last cricket of the day, which is a famous saying. 99 for 4, 42 needed from 41 balls. That's very cunningly tossed up. Rather an ugly shot from Greg James, but who I can reveal has already stiffened up seriously. I mean, poor man, he's never kept wicket before, and out he goes. So the masseur's already been working on Greg, I think. Tuffers looks a bit worried, doesn't he?
Well, I think he's enjoying himself. Run rate's just creeping up a little bit, I guess you'll be pleased to know.
I think the pressure's on now, but it's a question of where Tuffers goes. He's probably got to bowl Swann one more, hasn't he?
Well, the Norcross plan was to make sure that your team keeps these... you don't want to let Smith and co come back in, you see.
So you keep these in?
Yeah, don't get anyone out.
Well, who's left? There must be some... There are only 4 down, so there must be some pretty average. I mean, Simon Mann's batting at 6. There can't be much to come. What have we got? We've got Ali Mitchell and Andy Parsons. I'm not expecting a huge amount there, if I'm honest with you. Fazeer Mohammed now, that's an unknown quantity for me.
Well, someone said he hadn't played for about 20 years, but he bowled very nicely.
He did bowl. I've not seen Fazeer play cricket. But
well, he bowled his nice left arm, as I was here in time for that.
That could be an unknown quantity. And also, there's 12 names on this list. We only had 11, didn't we, Andrew? Did we have 12? Oh, OK, that's fair enough. Tuffers again, in he comes round the wicket, and almost a return catch from Greg James. But look, 5 from 14 balls, almost as bad as Simon Hughes, who finished in the end, Andrew, just to completely embarrass him.
I think Tufnell is having a good time up there.
Oh, look at that! That's really tossed up.
And in.
Hard to hit that, isn't it? You were, by the way, Yohan, I thought it was like Graeme Swann rolling back the years, wasn't it? He tossed it up. Those eyes went like a fruit machine.
Oh, my God, my eyes light up. He's making me have a long look.
I know. But there's worse ways of getting out than bowl Swan on a bit of a turn, Victor.
Well, that's true, but it reminds me a bit of Joel Garner, actually.
What, Graeme Swann did?
No, the batting. I remember Joel. I used to play with Joel years ago, and he could hit a ball a long way, and he had quite a good technique, but he got out having a big slog, and he came in and he threw his bat into his coffin, furious with himself. He said, "I done swiping," he said. "I done it." Of course he hadn't. He did the next game probably,
sure.
but I've done swiping now.
Great word. So 6 overs to go, 103 for 4, 141 is the target. Now this is the decision for Tuffers here, in that what's he going to do?
Is it 4 overs per bowler? Is it?
It is. And who's he brought on here? That's the question, because he has changed the
this
bowling.
is Garcia.
This is Garcia's coming back.
He bowled quite nicely early on.
He did. He's got 2 left.
How many's Rainford-Brent got left?
Hopefully none.
2.
2 left. Oh no. Okay. Well, it wasn't the worst we've seen so far. Right, Mann on the strike. Oh dear, that's horrible. Nicely taken by Harry Judd, though. Who's a decent cricketer, actually. He's done. He played nicely too. Did you think, Harry? Drummer. No, he's a good cricketer. Right, come on, Adam. Let's get this in the right place, please. Oh dear, is that a wide as well? John Holder, I think, is mindful of the light, which is why he's letting some of these wider deliveries go now. So if you're listening and you want to dash home, you can watch this. It's on the red button on the BBC, believe it or not. I'm not sure it's done to the ratings for BBC today. Here's Garcia over the wicket, bowls, and that's nicely dabbed away by Mann, actually, up towards backward point. There's Ebony Rainford-Brent, looking very nimble at point, doing the fielding. I'm not sure what Naga's got on down there. She's got some enormous anorak on. What's that all about? Well, it's not that chilly, but anyway. What's the next one? Now that's a good shout. I'd have thought hit half and half, but no appeal from the keeper. It's a bit surprising. So another leg by.
I think he hit it.
Do you? No runs given. 105 for 4. 36 off 32 balls. It's just creeping up. But the tension in here is, well, you could cut it with a knife, couldn't you? More or less. There's Garcia then bowling. That's nicely turned by Mann. Just for another single. Mann is mustered 14 from 21 balls. 1 boundary.
I think he's coming along well. 1 boundary can change the game. A couple of boundaries can change the game.
Well, that is true, and that's what actually needed here, isn't it? Garcia bowling. Oh, that's down towards mid-off, over mid-off's head. And they're only going to get 1, I think, by the look of that. Oh, there could be a run-out, though. But I think they're probably thrown to the wrong end by Jamie Laing. 34 off 30 then, 107 for 4. And Johan, seriously, your cricket, you obviously like the game, you love the game, you're Jamaican, you'll love the game. But what sort of standard have you played?
I would say like is an understatement. I love the game. I play at the club level. I have my team back home. It's going along well. I created my own team because I actually love the game.
Your own team?
Yeah, definitely. And my fast bowler is from England, James Anderson. See him in action tomorrow.
Has he played for you? Has he actually turned out and played for you?
No, not yet. I don't ask him as yet. But I love to see him in action.
But you picked him?
Not against the West Indies.
Oh, yeah. Are you going to the match tomorrow?
Not sure as yet.
You need to be brave. What I said to Michael Holding the other day when I saw him was, Michael, we took it all in the 1980s. I'm sorry, you've got to take it now. And, well, I didn't think he was very pleased. But it's true, the wheel goes round there, doesn't it? The wheel does go round. Right, Jamie Lang's on then. He hasn't bowled yet, so I'm not quite sure what this is going to be, but it's a mysterious-looking run-up. Let's have a look. Oh, it's a legging. That almost gets a wicket first ball. Goodbye to Yohan Blake. Lovely to see you. And if you do come to the ground tomorrow, make sure you come and say hello. But there we are. A big commentary career lies ahead of Yohan, I think, Victor.
Well, he's got some running to do first, I think.
I think he might have. 107 for 4. This is oh dear. Well, that's a lofted full toss, and it's going to be 4 runs. So that wasn't Bit of a disappointment after the ball before. Tanny's coming back.
Hello.
Bit disturbed by what Naga's wearing. She's got an enormous anorak on out there. It's not that cold. He'd be sitting outside.
I've got my ski jacket on.
Is it? Well,
I'd have my bubble hat on if I'd brought it with me.
Right. I'm quietly confident, Tanny. So I think we're going to bowl them out. That's you see, it's so slow. It's horrible. Just can't hit it.
It looked like early on I was getting a little bit worried, but I'm feeling more relaxed now because if I was going to have a bet, my money was on your team.
You're obviously support, well, but not about betting. I mean, just in terms of friendship and everything else, Tanny, loyalty.
I was advised not to have a bet.
No, you can't do that. But you would have supported me anyway, surely. Now, that's huge. That's gone way into the crowd, miles away, over deep mid-wicket. That wasn't a good ball, I'm afraid. Big one for Greg James, though. Look at that, he's smiling. I did see him on the physio's couch earlier on, though. He's struggling with his after having kept wicket. Yes, he's never done it before, poor chap. And out he went to go keep wicket to Yohan Blake. Actually, do you know, I think, honestly, you know how it's one of the crueler jokes, isn't it? Oh, so-and-so runs in faster than he bowls.
Yeah. Well,
I think in Blake's case, I think it's probably true.
Well, you didn't mention that to him while he was sitting here. I noticed.
He ran in very fast, very menacingly, and it came out about, well, a little bit quicker than this, to be fair. So I think probably we'll reserve that now just for him. That's a good shot, though.
That's 4.
Greg James is
lovely long drive.
Yeah, he's just found a bit of touch here. 22, so he'll have to go in a minute. So he'll have to go to be replaced by, well, again, one of the sort of the lower order types.
Well, there's still Isha, isn't there?
I've lost the batting order here. Andrew will have it, no doubt. How many balls left? 1 ball to go. This was Laing over. Oh, down the leg side. He nicked that. We think Alison Mitchell might be in next.
Right.
Did you see her bowling?
Yes.
I think she owes her team something. That's all I will say.
Can I say there's some room for improvement?
Well,
am I allowed to say that?
Yeah. No, I think that's a fair comment.
I think also she's a batting all-rounder rather than a bowling all-rounder.
She did approach me a few moments ago in that sort of quiet, discreet sort of way. Said, "Aggers, you weren't commentating on my over, were you?" I said, "Yes." So I think she knew. I said, "Don't watch it on iPlayer, Ellie. Don't watch it again." Well, look at Jim. He has had a fantastic day.
Has he?
No, he really has. He loves his cricket. He, of course, is chairman of Hampstead Cricket Club. His wife, Imelda Staunton, they do it together. Proper cricket lovers, you know. And it's really nice for him to come all the way up here today and come and take part in this. And the crowd have had a good time. I've been wandering round the stands and.
Sorry, Simon Mann's ordered his helmet.
He has. Who's coming on?
I don't know.
Oh, it's Dagnall.
Dagnall's coming back, and Mann has summoned his helmet.
He has.
I mean, you know, if you think it's all lovey-dovey in this commentary box, it clearly isn't.
Well, he obviously wants to preserve his good looks.
A lot of warming up from Dagnall.
I know. Well,
I mean, he's been in this situation many times before, Dagnall. Game just slipping away.
He got 2 left, so he's bowling 17 and 19.
Possibly. Well, there's still some for Tufnell and Swann.
What options are there at the other end, Andrew? I think we've got one from Tufnell, one from Swann.
Ooh, pressures. You
so
like that,
2 from Dagnall here. The spinners will finish off down at the other end. And we've got Alison Mitchell and the lower order.
You've managed to keep Smith and Vaughan from coming back in.
It's cunning. It's cunning. Right, in goes Dagnall then. Bowls to Mann. Oh, it's a bouncer as well. It was a bouncer.
Is that the one for the over?
And he's followed through some way down there.
It is the one for the over.
It is the one for the over. Charlie Dagnall, possibly for the first time in his career, has managed to bowl 1 short ball for the over.
Yeah.
What a day it's been. Extraordinary.
I mean, it was almost a wide, but not quite because John Holder was umpiring. He's looking fierce, Dagnall.
That's a groundhog day. 121 for 4. Well done, Daggers. 20 off 23. He can't bowl another one, can he? He has done. He has done. A bit of a fumble behind.
Oh, is the umpire going to have a word?
Wasn't a great ball, that one.
Lucky not to be wide.
That might have been his second short ball.
Do you think the umpire might have a word? He's going to get taken off?
He might get warned off for intimidatory bowling, which would also be a first in Charlie Dagnall's case.
Yeah.
121 for 4. Well, good to see some hostility, though. We like a bit of that. Don't like our commentators, our colleagues being too friendly. Here's Dagnall bowling another
one. He's got to take him
wide him, I think. He might wide him here.
He must wide him. No, he's having a word. He's calling the umpire. Yes.
Well,
it's a free hit.
James Taylor's suggesting that might have gone over his head. Yeah, he's saying it would have gone over mine.
No ball. Is it a dead ball?
No ball.
No ball. Free hit.
Is that a free hit, I wonder?
Is that a free hit? I think it is a free hit.
Yeah. Well,
And Dagnall's not happy.
What's wound Charlie Dagnall up here? I don't know, but this is a first for him. He's been warned for intimidatory bowling.
Never happened in his county career,
No.
ever.
Good Lord, he's running in with a ponytail. He won't be able to move tomorrow. Well, certainly intimidatory. Simon Mann on strike. Dagnall bowls to him, and he's carved them. That's not a bad reply. To be fair to Simon, it obviously won't come for 4. Mann tends not to deal with boundaries, but he'll get a couple, as that's picked up by Laura, who batted rather nicely earlier, for someone who hasn't played before, by the way.
I know.
Showed up Simon Hughes.
Well, I made the point when Simon's out, we watch him every day at tea time go out and demonstrate how to play the game.
He was
disappointing dismissal.
He was slightly chastened when I saw him over a bag of crisps
Was he?
in the green room.
You didn't know what had come over him?
No. This is Dagnall then, bowling. That's another carve from Mann. Almost, well, that's a terrific piece of fielding by Dom Joly down there at third man. He took that on the body for the team.
That could have gone for 4 easily.
Yep, that was a really good piece of fielding. He took it on the legs, I think. So well done, Dom. He's very competitive. 125 for 4, 16 needed off 20. Cracking finish, this. Greg James on strike. To Charles Dagnall. 2 balls left in the over, down the leg side. John Holder, though, again, is quite generous. So, James, if he goes, it's 8 needed. I don't work out sort of if he has to retire.
Don't flap.
No,
it's coach, you know.
Can't. I'm not used to winning games.
Well, no, we haven't won this one yet.
This Dagnall again, pushed away out towards mid-off. It's not going to go all the way down. Tuffers, well fielded, on the move. Well done. So,
but now you're feeling what it must be like for Trevor Bayliss, you know, out there. He remains very phlegmatic. You've got to try and do the same, Jonathan.
Yes.
Okay?
Well, Dan Norcross is hovering to come in and see us home, and I use us in, obviously, the impartial sense. I meant more the programme, really. He's manfully covered much of it today. Victor, I shall look forward to seeing you tomorrow at Headingley, and all our viewers and listeners, everyone else, back to normal business tomorrow. But thanks for tuning in. And thanks to everybody for coming. I mean, there they are. They've had a really wonderful time today. The weather's been kind, and it's been great fun. So with 16 needed off 18 balls, I will talk to you at 10:25 tomorrow, and Dan Norcross is coming in here.
At the critical moment. 16 off 18. We thought it would go for the last over. Who's he selected to bowl? Is he bringing back himself? No. There's a lot of arm waving.
Well, do you know, I've got to say, Simon Hughes.
Simon Hughes, that's a
very brave decision.
Well, of course, he used to do this for Middlesex quite often.
Yes. Those are different.
The coach is not happy. The coach is not happy.
Different era.
He cannot. Well, I've never seen him so animated.
Well, I'm not at all surprised.
He's almost going to walk out there, I think.
Well, that said, maybe
it could be Master Stroke.
Daggers won't bowl his last over, because I was asking Freddie Wilde, the esteemed journalist, as Simon Hughes lollops in and is worked down to long leg. There should just be the one. Daggers is converging on it along with Miles Jupp. And
they've gone for 2, haven't they?
Did they get through for 2? They got through for 2. And that was suboptimal fielding, it must be said, down here. 127 for 4.
You have such a lovely way of saying that.
Oh, that's kind of...
Oh dear, we're going to have that for 5 days now.
Probably only 3, the way the test matches are currently going, but you never know. There's Freddie Wilde. I asked him for some data on biggest IPL flops, given Daggers' extreme cost of 11 rhubarbs. Worked into the onside for another run, 13 required. Only 16 balls remain. And Dinesh Karthik and Yuvraj Singh were the ones that he was going to compare Daggers to. His batting turned out OK. But for 11 rhubarbs, you'd expect more than none for 26, is it? 20 for 25. Beautiful, beautiful shot from Greg James. That's been driven out into the covers. And decent throw. Hang on now, is Simon Mann limping? That said, you've known Simon Mann for a long time. Has there been a time when he wasn't limping? Tuffers was doing the fielding, holding back the years. 130 for 4, 11 to win from 15 balls. Simon Hughes, what a decision this was to make. None for 28, and he's just been marmalised through the onside. Daggers, stops it. He's got a bullet throw, Daggers. Well, bullet-ish. And over the top of the stumps, good bit of fielding. 10 required from 14 balls. But his bowling, I mean, Timmel Mills cost $300,000 a wicket for his franchise in the IPL. He took 5 wickets. Next ball's worked into the onside again. Simon wants a single. He's going to get it. This is brilliant, canny cricket, got to say, from Mann and James. Simon Mann, and when you think, Simon Mann, former mercenary, of course, and all that work.
Well, he's showing a ruthless streak here, isn't he?
He is.
A pragmatic, ruthless streak.
Like his father, George Mann, who captained England, of course. Many years ago.
He didn't really.
I don't need to ruin it. That's a wonderful shot. Is that going to go all the way? It's gone for 4, I believe. And that's perfect from Greg James. Takes it to 29. Got 28. Only 5 to win. They're within 1 lusty blow, Tanny, of victory. And what do you think this would mean for the people of Yorkshire if Team Boycott could bring home, I was going to say the bacon, the lardy cake, the kale, the Eccles. No, that's Lancashire, isn't it? Sorry. The other stuff.
Yeah, the other stuff over the side.
The roast beef and Yorkshire pudding.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
There would be a huge amount of pride, in doing it for Yorkshire.
Yeah.
And, the way they've played as a team, they've come together. They've not had a lot of practice time, have they?
Will they get a goal post box? That's what I want to know.
There'd have to be a lot of goal post boxes, wouldn't there?
Well, there are a lot around Yorkshire. Because did Yorkshire not win more Olympic medals, gold medals, than Australia?
They did, and I think they came something like 10th on the medal table or something. It was something completely
pretty good, isn't
crazy. Yeah, 2012 was an amazing games though, so it showed just what you can do in British sport. So that's always nice.
Right, Team Agnew is supping at the Last Chance Saloon. Simon Mann's hit it high in the air. He's just about managed to clear the infield. Jamie Laing runs back. He fields that come through for just the one. Brings Greg James back on strike. He has 29 from 28. 4 to win. 11 balls. Now, what do you do with the field here, Vic? You're an experienced off-spinner. What are you saying when you've got a man of Greg James's calibre and you've only taken 250-plus Test wickets? What is it what are you looking to do to get a man like him out?
I thought you're getting caught deep mid-wicket.
Caught deep mid-wicket?
Yeah.
OK. Well, there's Dom Joly, I think, is going back at deep mid-wicket. Laing is adopting a position much like a gully, but at slightly deep.
You almost want, following your theory, to give James 1, then he has to retire.
Good thinking. Well, that's it, hit high in the air. Is there anyone underneath it? I search. No, there is no one. Oh, brilliant save. Oh, how important could that prove to be? Probably not very, but you never know. They come back for 2.
Well, he's got to get off now. Someone's got to get him off.
Yes, indeed. So who's going to come in?
But he's not. He shows no sign of going.
Well, he's got to go. Greg James has got to go.
Well,
Greg James has got to go. We need to get a message out to the umpires. He doesn't want to leave.
Tuffers, is he on to this? Yes. No, he's going.
He is.
He's going.
He's off. Yeah, he's off. He's off. Could be crucial, Vic.
Well played.
Yes, it could be. Who have we got now? It could be Alison.
Well, it's either going to be Alison Mitchell or Andy Parsons or Isha Guha. And I would say that
it's a fine innings from Greg James.
None of the 3. It's going to be Alison Mitchell.
Okay.
It's going to be Alison Mitchell, not Andy Parsons. Or is it going to be Alison Mitchell? It is Alison Mitchell.
Okay.
Alison Mitchell, our colleague in the TMS commentary box. I saw her bat at the Oval last year in a game I played against.
Well, she's got one thing in common with Geoffrey Boycott.
Oh, yes.
She's starting her cricketing career wearing glasses as a batsman.
I like it.
There you are.
Will she end it with over 8,032 runs? In Test
well, she's obviously very young, but...
She is young. Now, I've seen her bat before, and I'm going to tell Tuffers this now. You need a mid-wicket, another mid-wicket, and you need a slip coordinate mid-wicket to Alison. She likes to hit the ball through mid-wicket. I don't think this is the field that you want. Well, actually, he is slightly listening to me. Swanee, who started so well with the first 2 balls taking wickets. Oh, thick inside edge into the onside. Any ball. Alison's very much like Don Bradman in that she hits a lot of balls on the leg
we've
side.
We've compared it to Bradman and Boycott so far. What's next?
Well, I think those are perfectly fair comparisons. Swanee in again, and again that ball starts from way outside the off stump, is worked into the onside.
Well played, though.
No run, she's still there.
There's time for her just to, keep Swann out and let Mann.
Is she not entitled to just have a dart?
Well, she could.
But she could have a dart, couldn't she? And she's no, that's a fabulous flamingo shot Very, but unfortunately,
so
the ball only went
Boycott,
2 feet through her.
Bradman, a bit of Peterson.
There's a lot of Kevin Peterson in there. And now the bit of Roy Fredericks I'm expecting. Now, that's a clipped high in the air. Oh, and it just evades the lolloping move of slip. End of the over. Swann will finish with the very impressive figures of 3 overs, 4 overs, 2 for 9. But he couldn't take a wicket after those first 2 balls, could he? I think they worked him out.
Possibly. Now then, but there is still there's 2 to win.
There's 2 to win. Simon.
Anyone knows what happens if it's a tie?
If it's a tie,
ask you, Dan.
super over.
Oh no.
Yes, super over.
We keep going.
Yeah. So at least 1 super over. Yeah.
Is there more cake in between?
Oh yes, Tanny. There's always cake. There's always cake, and I dare say we'll probably find you a glass of wine as well if we searched hard enough. Who's going to bowl that last over?
Well, Simon Hughes has been removed from the attack, and who better than the captain?
Well,
I think he's looking magisterial.
He really is, isn't he? He looks like he's commanding his troops, Tanny. I mean,
Middlesex missed out all those years ago. He's even taken his dangle off.
It's St Christopher. It looks like that is serious when you're taking your jewellery off,
isn't it?
Well, is it?
Isn't it?
I think so.
He's got Simon Mann in his sights as he's facing up to him now. The first ball is hit high in the air, straight. Oh no, that's going to run away all the way to the boundary. Yes, indeed it is, and that is a win for Team Boycott on their home ground here at Wheatwood Hall. Simon Mann hits the winning runs. We will not hear the last of it over the next 5 days. My heart sinks. But I'm delighted for Jeffrey Boycott, for Michael Vaughan and for his entire team. Simon Mann finishing with a very canny 31-ball, 24. It showed, I thought, the value of being born sometime in the 1930s. He totally understood how to play this game. He paced his innings perfectly.
Well, Jeffrey will be absolutely... Look, he's beaming there, and he might even give Simon a hug.
Do you think?
I think so. It was a very fine shot to finish the match.